I've given I'm sick of feeling. Is there nothing you can say? Take this all away. I'm suffocating. Tell me what the fuck is wrong.
It's terrible.
So for those of you listening to
Welcome
this
to
on the
Shirtless
audio
Men Hour.
podcast, this is Topless Keyforge. I believe the only two people wearing shirts right now are Z and Southerly. And this is what you miss when you don't join us live on Thursday nights. Oh, and Z just left.
Z's gone.
Well, what's going on,
Let's
everybody?
get to it.
I am the one, the
Just
only.
because I don't have a video doesn't mean
Why
I don't have a
not?
shirt on.
You're the geekiest one of us here, and you don't have a webcam?
Nope.
No, people
webcam.
can hack your webcam.
The internet,
you got to know how
The government might want to know what I do
and
and things and stuff. Oh boy,
No,
Z is-
I mean,
Like
certainly he's routing
I'm
his
going to my
traffic
phone.
through
You guys are boring.
Uzbekistan and then through Lithuania
Yeah.
and then through Canada
yeah,
and
absolutely.
then to the servers here.
That's
right?
100%
So-
how it goes.
And then signing in with my email.
That's right.
Yeah.
exactly.
With your
Yep.
Facebook
Yep.
account.
Yeah.
Anyways, but long story short, what's going on, everybody? I know he's trying. I see it. I'm like, so excited.
I'm really curious. What's gonna happen? Is he gonna join us?
It's gonna be like
It's
some
just
weird
gonna be-
picture.
It's
I
like
don't
spinning.
know if this works. Like,
It's going to be his butt.
All right, maybe the third time's the charm, Wookie. We're focused. tonight.
We're laser focused tonight. But what's going on, everybody? I am the one, the only, the WOOKIE, topless and cold. Joining us tonight, we got the normal cast of misfits. We got the Ewokiest of Ewoks, Ewok Jr.
Hello, Keyforge community. Glad to be here. Super excited. Great
We
topic.
have the returning champion, Big Z.
hey,
He's in
champion.
buffering
All
right now.
sure.
We got our
Wait.
resident PhD, Dr. Sheep,
I'm here.
and the choke show, Drazcor,
Oh, guys, how's it going?
and that elf from the south, Southerly Elf.
Ahoy. Pretty warm down here.
Yeah, down here, where? Where are you again? I forget where you were.
But elf from the south.
Oh, in the south.
He's just from
But,
way
yeah.
south.
So, Help from Future Self has their titular segment. We have our titular segment. That didn't really
No.
go. But anyways,
No.
Drazcor has a segment that he wants to introduce today. Drazcor, take it away.
All right. Well, so I mentioned to you guys that I had some something I wanted to chat with you guys about. I need your input, your feedback, and like what should I do? And this is about life and about Keyforge. And I didn't tell these
Okay.
guys what I was gonna bring up when beforehand, but here's what happened. Okay. So you guys can imagine, we're hanging out, the family, right? The wife and I are chatting. And, this has probably happened to you guys. She's like, hey, like, do you know when that Keyforge stuff is happening this summer? Like, so we can plan our
Oh,
summer
my
vacation.
God.
And I'm like, so of course, the answer is no. I don't know. So I
Why
don't
don't you know, Draz?
Because Gigi hasn't told us.
Oh, okay.
So
So it's
this
Gigi's
is-
fault now,
so-
is it?
Yep. So
Oh,
she
okay.
says, whatever. Okay. So she says something, and then the subject changes. All right. So I bought myself a few days, right? Okay, maybe, or bought myself, I don't know, maybe a
Week-
small amount of
A
time.
week tops.
So a few days later, this is what happens. She's like, hey, you know what? I've been thinking. Maybe you should go to that Minnesota Vault tour and then you should fly to where we're staying on Lake Champlain for the vault. I'll pick you up from I'll pick you up from the airport in Montreal because we're in the Canadian side of Lake Champlain, and then So
That
I'm
sounds
like,
a
ooh.
trap. Like that's a
Yes.
trap.
So
Like, that's a trap.
like it isn't it? Like if I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it, and I book flight to Minneapolis, and I go to the vault, and then Sunday, instead of waking up with my family, getting in the car and driving 7 or 8 hours north, I instead do Keyforge stuff on Sunday. Win the whole event, of course.
Of course.
And and then fly internationally. Land.
You've done it once already.
Land-
Why not again? I mean,
Land in Montreal. My wife then, I guess, leaves the kids at the hotel, drives an hour north to Montreal, picks me up at the airport, and then drives me back to the hotel.
Like
Yeah.
that's the like some kind of D&D equivalent to like coming up to a bunch of people with a broken down cart on the side of the road. Like this is a trap.
Yeah. Right? Like,
So is
I
it
mean,
like
did you
get
ask
to go
JML for
charisma
permission
it up.
first?
D20.
to this one and no more? This is your vault this year?
oh, are there
so if
caveats?
I say, yeah, I'm doing this, right? Does that mean okay, suddenly all the summer stuff gets planned, locked in, and then it's like, oh yeah, you're doing this, and then we find out the dates and everything's covered.
Yeah. Once she gives you this, then she doesn't have to feel guilty about scheduling over everything else.
Right.
All right, so
So what do I do, guys?
okay,
We will
so that was the
not
question.
See you in Minnesota. Like that's
I say.
Yeah, what do you think, Wookie? I want your advice
I
first because
say-
you're great advice from the Wookie.
Great
Everybody
advice.
knows.
Great advice.
Go ahead.
Well, see, I'm torn, right? I'm torn between Z's, what do we call it? I like Z's, like,
Fanaticism?
verbiage. Yeah, like, whatever, fanaticism.
Irrational.
Irrational fanaticism.
Fanaticism. But, like, so here's the deal, right? It is now February 8th as of the time of recording this.
Yep.
We don't really know if there are going to be any other Vault Tours besides, like, Gen Con's still nationals, I guess. So if you're planning on going to Gen Con, I guess you still have an opportunity there.
But has that been announced, Wookie?
Well, they did.
I think so.
They
I think
announced it at KFC that Gen Con will be nationals.
But they had
they
did you
also
notice?
said
They
at
did it-
KFC the decks would cost $12.99. Like that.
Yeah.
I
Did
don't
they?
remember
Did they
them
actually say that?
saying. I don't think
That
they
was
said that.
it was on their game found. It was printed on the game found at the time, $12.99.
So
They
so the
currently cost $12.99.
Yeah. I just
So
bought
I-
some Winds of
Dude.
Exchange tonight at the store for some sealed, and it was $12.99.
Yeah.
I do want to say that I do think that nationals will happen at Gen Con, but if you actually look at what has been listed, I did not see Gen Con on there.
Listed
Hold on.
where?
Oh, yeah. They have,
Research team says otherwise in the in the
Keyforge
chat here.
Nationals. Yeah. Keyforge Nationals.
Well, then we're fine. There you
August through September. U.S. Nationals at Gen Con 2024. Others to be announced. Yep.
So
yep.
then
There you go. Domino
Which
just
Gen
took
Con?
yep. Thank you,
Boom.
Domino.
I thought I saw it somewhere.
Yeah. So
Okay.
So that's
you
a
have
thing.
now.
I'm gonna go ahead, Draz. I will be on a different side. I know your lovely wife. She is absolutely amazing. I think that she knows your passion and love for the game, from recording every week or as often as we can, to being interested in being able to travel in the competitive scene. I know how you felt about last year and that it didn't necessarily show up as successful as you wanted. And I know that with many other significant others, it could be seen as a trap. But I think that your girls are old enough, and she is basically saying this is really important to you, and she is giving you an out. So that's how I see it. I
Either
could
that
see
or
the
she's
same.
drafting divorce
They
papers
are.
and she will
there is
deliver them
no
to you
way
in Canada.
the hell you would do this?
Actually, that is where it's different. I do believe that if this was Tara in the same spot, that if she gave me, again, if she went ahead and said what I heard from Draz, then yes, I would feel comfortable enough to be able to go and to fly out. The girls are older.
Believe you.
I can tell you that is what is there. You're not going to miss the main event. You're still going to be with the family afterwards. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it's there. It's for the eclipse, right? So
Correct.
the eclipse happens on Monday. Now I would miss like the family drive up, and I would miss like whatever they do when they get there on Sunday.
But you would be there
Um,
for the family drive back, which is when everyone's kind of like
Right.
done and needing your help. I don't know. I think this is a really interesting predicament, but I think that's I know your lovely wife, and from the few times that I've met her and been around her, she seems extremely amazing. And yes, I could see this as being, hey, go for it.
So I want to hear Southerly's opinion because you've been married for 20 years, right, Southerly? So you've got lots of experience
much,
in
yeah.
this category. Yep. So
Southerly's-
what's your advice?
Southerly's been married to the game.
There you go.
He got married when he was 1.
I'm married to the money, actually.
money.
No, well, I would say, right, like if she values the convenience of having this all planned and figured out at this
I thought you were going to say the convenience of being married for a second there. You value being married. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
All right.
no, having plans figured out early and in
Okay.
advance.
All right.
Yeah. Then over, a few hours and part of a day of your time with the vacation, then yeah, go for it.
I will also add in, I don't think that this is limited to just this vault tour. I think, again, no background at all, but I can see another East Coast vault. I think that Philly is a great location. And I think something in your neck of the woods, you'd be easily able to go. But I know that you traveled a bit last year. And
Yep.
so I think those two would be easy enough to be able to attend. And then you'd have to see what other options come up. But again, it's very late to be able to see and to plan. And it's not just you, Draz. I mean, there's been a lot of people that have been talking to that are just like, I don't know plans. I don't know what we can do. I don't know what's even available. What does a vault mean? What is there to do there? What's there to look forward to? There's a lot of questions right now that frankly need to be answered or provided like yesterday or a month ago in order to really keep us going forward with the vault season. So I don't know. It's scary. It's also scary some of the other theory and conjecture that I hear. Even this morning, I think I woke up. Did you guys see in the Nordic Keyforge? Like they're like, hey, there's a potential that we could have a vault here in Sweden. And
Oh, really?
yeah, that
That'd be
was
cool.
announced this morning.
Yeah,
they're
I'm not in any NKFL anything.
But they were just basically saying, is there enough interest? We need to be able to make sure that there's at least 64 people.
Wait, so how
so-
do you think that
so
came
oddly-
to be? You like some random person from? Well, we know. Let's not say random. Just like someone from GG, like messaged one of their NKFL like players, like, "Hey guys, does anyone want to play Keyforge over there? We gotta schedule some shit soon." Like, what does that even look like? How does that correspondence come out to be?
Well, you're thinking about that. I'm thinking how scary that is that you're reaching out and we're trying to gather. Will there be enough interest at this point in February? That's absolutely scary to me. But I like the idea. Hey,
Well,
we're
hopefully it's
reaching out.
because they've locked
these
down
are
on all the
communities.
U.S. ones.
There's a big question mark alongside a lot of that.
See you in
want to
Roseville.
know how that correspondence like started. Like, who was the person that got that message and how? Because we know it wasn't a store. Ha ha. Like,
So I'm going to make this very simple. Next year, KFC. So when we're looking in 2024 for the fall, you should announce that your first vault's going to once again be in Minnesota, and it's going to be in April. Here you go. And then from November and December, you should be working on solidifying the rest of those vaults so that
This is also
by
assuming
Jan,
we're getting a vault season in
and I'm
2025.
well aware of that. But I mean, that's again, I have no background, I have no understanding there, but that's how I would go ahead and handle it. Is by January 1st is when you really want to be getting out information. Here's your vaults, here's your locations. You can at least establish the first one for your own home that you're coming right back. We save this date. Done. Check.
So, all right. So,
I'm confused about what you're
PhD
saying.
in psychiatry, Dr. Sheep.
She has a
what
PhD
should I
in
do?
bullshit. Sorry if we didn't make
Well,
that clear.
Mhm.
it's like the same thing. So you
Thank
know,
you for
what do
your
got?
donation.
What do you got, Sheep?
Did we pick where our donations are going this year for 2024?
They always go to Autism Speaks.
Hey, I'm good with this.
How
Autism
about-
Speaks.
how about-
Thank you very much.
GG game design.
I was gonna say whichever employee
Oh,
leaves first.
You can't say that, Z, when I have like liquid here, then I cough and it can go everywhere.
almost came out of his mouth. Anyways,
So what do you think,
anyway, sheep. Yeah.
What do you think, Sheep?
In what is a surprise change for me, I think it costs too much to do what you're suggesting to make this vault worth it. And I'm usually one
So-
who's just all about wasting the money, but the extra
Interestingly-
flying internationally sounds terrible.
It's way cheaper to fly into Montreal. I already looked. Than to fly to Philly, which is interesting. I'll save money by flying back to Montreal.
Okay. Can I
Okay,
also?
and it's it. It's what you do.
There you go. See, sheep got convinced there. Can I tell you, Sheep and Wookie, what I just saw within the last 2 days is that there is Frontier going ahead and opening up new lines to Philly, $13 right now. So
Oh my goodness.
that's for the
What is
that
this?
is yes, that is for this
From
is
where?
For this, it is from Milwaukee to Philly, straight flight, and
Oh.
it is super cheap right now. But we need to know, like, hey, what weekend are we going? What
You
should
just
be
have
happening?
to be in the luggage compartment. Hey,
Hey.
if you guys come to Philly for $13, I'll host you.
Well,
Yeah,
and,
what-
and
Do whatever
Fron-
you guys want.
yeah,
What is this?
Frontier.
Frontier. Oh, so
So-
I'm coming shirtless because I can't afford the extra shirt charge.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Yep.
Frontier is a charge on everything. So your carry on, all of your baggage, anything of that sort. You want a snack, you're going to be charged for it. But for that cost, is like, hey, we're starting out this new line. That's phenomenal. I'm like, okay, can we run a vault? Can we go ahead and see that? So good news, GG. Put a vault there quickly. And
When would you like me to visit Drasgore?
Yeah. We'll let's look at the calendar. We'll make this happen. Yeah. Look at when are the cheap? Probably like Tuesdays. These cheap flights, but
Yeah, they're
whatever.
not. You know.
Tuesdays is the cheap flights.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that. All right, but we got work.
$18.
So honestly, I don't think it's a planned
Charlotte.
trap. But here is what I think. I'm worried that if I do this, like that weekend, she'd be like, why did I let him do this? And then she's gonna be unhappy about it, and then like annoyed that she just drove like 7 or 8 hours and has got to drive another 2-hour round trip to pick my ass up from the airport. And then
Do
you
your
know,
girls drive though, Draz? Your oldest is right there.
No, 15.
Okay.
No, they're
15
not.
is my oldest.
I recommend a bouquet of
remember
I
flowers.
one
can
was
share a
very
personal
close.
experience, Draz. Like
Yeah, let's hear it.
this
Z.
wasn't
Yeah.
actually 2023. I went to like everything under the sun in 2023, and this wasn't recently. My kid is much older. We're in a much different place in 2023. But like earlier on, my kid was younger. It was the Vegas vault, like the one that was not this year's, but like
Triad.
yeah, the Vegas Triad. It was like, I don't know, like there was something going on that weekend. I went to the vault instead, so I wasn't with whatever family event was going on. The event itself was like somewhat frustrating for me, and like part of that was because I like knew I wasn't where I should be, and I kind of carried that with me through the whole event. Like I've been to all of these events, and I actually remember that one a lot more for all those reasons than many of the other ones. And I had permission. I got permission in a very similar manner. I did not have to it wasn't like I had to attend this thing. It was like a birthday party or something, like not my kid's birthday party, but like, you know, a family birthday
Did you
Family
hear that,
friend, you know,
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
No, you guys are talking about family. I can't hear.
that and I still remember that vault. I don't remember a lot of the vaults back in 2019, but I do remember that one, and part of it wasn't just because like that was going on. I just think the whole experience was kind of like meh, and I remember that feeling whole weekend. That's the
Right.
first one I literally moved my flight up to come back early. instead of like plain Sunday because I had like sucked out with. Well, I did my normal 4-2. I got my plane flight moved up to that night and flew out that night.
Gotcha.
So for the annoyance part of it, I recommend a bouquet of flowers and ice cream. That'll fix a lot of things.
There you go. You're wise beyond your years, sir.
Thank you.
Did you use the chat bot for this?
Probably.
No,
he's just watched his dad make a lot of mistakes.
Oh.
No, I've been in a relationship for like 5.5 years.
Oh wow.
5.5 minutes. Yep.
Yeah.
Know your spouse well, and
It's like the fourth of your life.
Yeah. Crazy.
That is great.
That's fine. I've literally been married more than half of my life. Oh, yep.
I'm getting there.
Past that.
All right. Well,
threshold
thank
this
you.
year.
Thank you for your wisdom, everyone. Those in the who are listening, you can add your advice to the chat, and we'll see where we go with this. We'll figure this out.
So you have not decided, because I'm right at the edge of my seat here. You have not decided what you're doing.
No, I can't. Not while I'm drinking beer.
Here's
I'm
the
not
thing
going to
is,
decide.
you need to go because you got to get the head count up, or there is not going to be any more vaults.
Oh gosh.
So in the Lake Champlain area,
Drascore or nothing, right?
If Drascore is a 10 and it's deciding how many vaults we have in the future, we are already doomed. Like that's
Yes, we are.
I
in the
will
Lake Champlain area, you might be able to find stewards for ice cream.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
I will
Root beer
say
float.
I will say that for anyone who is thinking about or has plans on coming out to Vault Tour Roseville, there is a gathering, a party that is already being planned. So something to look forward to. No,
I'm
it's
not
an
interested.
actual. We're looking for a good
Party
time.
bus?
I want to rave.
No, the party bus was lost with sheep. He failed me
I
on that
want
one
glow
last year.
sticks. I want.
I didn't fail anything. I delivered all the party bus dollars we could ever need, and I got denied a party bus.
Oh.
We did have a sweet room though.
So now here's my deal, right? So here's where we live in this whole thing, because I'm on the fence because of my sister. I'm waiting to find out because Iowa school junk happens differently than Wisconsin school junk. But now that Drascore is coming,
I thought you were locked in.
I'm not locked in yet because I was waiting on my sister, my youngest sister. I only get to see her like once or twice a year. I'm typically once a year.
Yeah, but that's your sister. You saw her a whole bunch growing up.
No, I didn't. My youngest sister is the same age as my son, and she moved to Iowa probably about 10 years ago. So, long story short, I don't get to see my sister a whole bunch. But now that Drascore is coming, I don't know.
You don't know if Drascore's.
This is true.
Well, I will make a decision.
No, if Drascore's
inform you.
Now you count as 2 head count.
Yep.
See
how this snowballs?
It's all going to be on you.
Oh man, I'm gonna the whole Drascore experience has got to carry the vault. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Yeah.
Now the vault is just the side thing you do around the Drascore experience.
Yep.
I mean,
it really is. So we should just start scheduling
honestly,
Drascore experiences and vaults will come.
Like, if, like, yeah, what? Maybe I should just say when. How about this? When I win the lottery big, because that's the thing.
After you buy Keyforge, you will what?
Yeah, right. So, and the wife would totally be on board with this. Like, I'll just buy like a big ass van, like one of those ridiculous camper van, like the trucks, right? That you're like super annoyed or on the road with you. I'll buy one of those, right? And I'll drive around honking the horn, and I'll just drive from vault to vault in like board game convention, and then I'll the wife and I'll do stuff like around the area, and I'll host like parties there in the parking lot, and or like go to cool places, and it'll be awesome.
It will be.
That's the plan. Yeah.
Well, in true AC fashion, we have blown a ton of time again today.
Yep,
so
25
topic
minutes.
number 2, guys.
So time to get down to brass tacks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is time to dive into some grim reminders. This week, we have the sticky icky Ekwidon.
You didn't want to go ahead and do sheep's bit? We'll do that after.
What's sheep's?
You guys covered it. You already did my whole bit.
Hold on. Sheep, tell us the news in Keyforge this week.
I'm sorry, sheep. Please tell us what's going on in the world of Keyforge OP.
Grim reminders. Store pledges are delivering to stores.
Something.
I don't know if
Look,
that's
I'm
Keyforge
I'm
OP.
making news up. Oh, you wanted OP news?
Yeah.
Nothing, sirs. If you want to get pre-release kits, your stores cannot order them through Asmodee's website. You have to contact your rep and tell them you want them because they are not on the website. They are $45 retail. They come with 3 decks and a random pin, which you should have seen from from the one article that they put up after nobody knew what was going on, and I complained a lot. But to order those, you actually have to ask your rep. For the good of the community, I bitch a lot.
But how do we do that, Sheep? So, like, me as a player have to go.
You have to go to your store
manager
owner.
or owner, and then get
Yes.
them to call a rep who may or may not know the game exists.
Yes.
Okay,
You got it.
got it.
You have got this figured out. To get a pre-release kit, that is, I mean, it's $45 for 3 decks because I know there's a lot of people who still don't believe us. Prices did go up. Retail product,
Yeah.
a box to a store, at least my store, is now $100 a box, which turns into $15 US retail per deck. Like, that is how much boxes from retail is going to be. So the game found pledges, those went out at a cost that equates to the $12.99 MSRP that was advertised in the GameFound. So if your store got GameFound stuff, they paid for it at a price that equates to $12.99 a deck. But when they have to go to Asmodee to replace them, they're going to be paying more.
Yay!
That still doesn't mean that the GameFound product they got MSRP isn't $14.99. The MSRP is $14.99 for all Grim Reminders decks.
Actually, there is no single place that you can actually find the MSRP of Keyforge advertised except for on the GameFound, which isn't an official, like, there. Of course, there is nothing official, right? We're all going to know the price and what Ghost Galaxy thinks it should cost when they put it on the Game Center's website. Until then, nobody knows nothing because there's no press release.
Yeah,
and there's nothing.
I believe release date is March 1st.
Yeah, so March 1st, so we would expect Game Center to have a line item, whether you can actually buy anything from it or not.
Sold out.
Grim Reminder. Sold out.
All right.
I mean,
Sorry.
Game
Already
Center,
out of prick, guys. Sorry.
Yeah. Game Center did get a pledge.
Yeah.
They got a retailer pledge.
Yeah.
They did, yeah.
So did AC, right?
Yeah.
No. AC did not.
No, we did not.
Your store.
No.
Oh, what did we get?
A good friend of AC got one and determined that they would sell more product by supporting Archon's Corner than they would by putting their store name on the deck.
Supporting
go.
your content creator
That's
will
why-
sell product. Ooh, never mind.
Yeah,
I'm
go
not gonna,
figure.
I'm not going to go into this.
So,
Actually, how much do they
everybody
want for those decks? Because
reach out to Sheep to buy boxes of Grim Reminders. I got some for sale.
And
help the
Archon's
store
Corner
make some money.
decks.
Well, we're gonna figure out those are gonna get given away as
Special
prizes.
AC
We haven't.
fire. They're all hot fire decks.
Of course they are. They're Grim Reminders.
I don't know anything about them.
I will say that the store logos on the decks is really neat. I think that was well done, and I give DG credit.
that's cool.
I look forward to being able to collect a couple different
I'm
stores.
not going to comment about that.
he doesn't want his store name on it.
Z, did you
Well,
make
no,
that?
I'm
like,
excited.
The
Those Archon-
background is not whatever. I don't know.
It's not what you expected it to be.
It shouldn't have been white. Like, why?
What did you
Okay.
expect it to be?
In that manner, I hear what you're saying, Z, but I'm saying overall, it's a neat idea to put the logo on, and I appreciate that. It's moving in the right direction. Can it have been cleaned up?
I
Could it
saw-
be better, yes. but
Appreciate
it's
things when they stop fucking things up. All right, like
Z, Z, Z.
mean,
If that is your
I might have
line,
been the
don't.
one.
I know it's a swear
okay.
jar, but don't blank it up. That's a very, very low line, but it's consistently crossed. So I'm sorry, man.
That's
It
what
should
I'm
be there.
saying. Like, I'm pretty patient overall. Like, yeah. It's just so consistently this way that we're like, okay, fine. At least they got it on there. Like, at this point, I think JR would be happy if the symbol was like, I don't know, in the middle of the picture.
If it
on
was
the
just
Is that an option, Z?
letters
Jack,
A and
We're
C.
playing Keyforge. All right, we're good.
All right, so now we're going to talk about some Ekwidon cards. 'Cause
Yes.
those actually exist.
Yes.
Unlike
Yeah. Ekwidon cards.
What am I looking?
We are on to Ekwidon from Grim Reminders. First up, we have our. I never realized these were in alphabetical order. First up, we have Art Project.
Yeah.
Pip of Ember every time you play it. Action. Unforge an opponent's key. If you do, purge Art Project, and your opponent draws 10 cards. So do we want to do what we did last week, too? We'll play the guessing game of what we thought Z ranked it at?
Sure.
This should be pretty darn high.
Actually, I was going
It
to say
seems-
3. It's 1 to 6 for those of you
it's
who
more than
don't.
that.
It's 1 to 6 for those of you who don't know.
6.
0 to 6. I'm sorry, 0 to 6. I said
Respect the
I think-
zeros. They're out there. Good card design is
this-
good.
This is either a 4 or a 5. It like 10 cards is a big trade-off, but unforging an opponent's key is a big deal. I think in sealed, this is probably better because the value of the 10 cards is not as strong as 10 cards in Archon. But Z's rating for Archon, so I'm gonna say 4.
Suddenly,
There is some good steel in this house. So give him-
Pass.
oh, but this doesn't give him amber back.
oh,
Does it?
that's right. You know
Yeah,
all the.
that's
You
6
know all
amber dead too.
I went ahead and flashed the number 4. I think this could even be higher there because at turn, again, late in the game, the ability to be able to use this, I think 4. I like it.
All right. This one actually has changed over time. It started at a 5 and has been regressed all the way back down to a 3.
Oh,
In
wow, Rich.
actual game
bad, huh?
playing, because like
Wow.
they're unforging a key, right? Like then they're getting
Yeah.
10 cards. I have found, as far as like when we looked at some of the math behind giving them 10 cards, the 10 cards on average, based on them already starting with 6 cards in their hand, is more mathematical value than 6 amber. So in a lot of the cases, it's really just a stall, and against a lot of meta decks, playing this card means you've just lost, period. Because of combos.
Yeah, give Fraud 10 cards.
Like
See what happens.
Like you literally cannot play this card against Pink Fraud or
Yeah.
Aya
Or Jenka or
Jock or any Jenka deck that's ever been printed. So that's for very real meta decks that you're going to see forever. Those decks are never leaving the meta.
Yep.
So if you're talking about a purely competitive card, I just named 4 decks you're going to see probably still in the top 8 going forward in the future that you can never play this card against. So it's completely dead. It's just a chain. You'll never use it. So
All right.
it has
But
gone
sealed,
from
you
a
play it all the
5
time.
Hell yeah, it's sealed. You play it. your
Sealed,
deck
it's
probably sucks.
sealed. It's
Here you go.
probably great, but we're in the Archon.
Yeah,
thought
so
process.
it's gone from a 5 to a 3. I think it's only still at a 3 because there are some decks where, like, I think most WoW you could afford to play this against that doesn't have befuddled in it. But on the other side of that, a lot of the stuff you see has that. So, like, it's a 3. It is a 3.
All right, moving into
Could be even lower in the future.
Azertooth. 6
Hold on a second. Did you guys do? Now I missed last week because I was sick. I apologize.
Mhm.
But I actually like this. That we're coming in we're going ahead and looking the set after a couple different plays. I know all of us have played, correct? You guys
Mhm.
talked about that last week?
Yeah.
Yes. So that gives us some feedback.
Yeah.
Did you do all of the Revenants last week? Or
We
we
did
just
not.
saved-
No.
Are we gonna at least throw in the Revenant
They
or the
did.
South? For
I
House Icky?
objected, but they did talk about Drummer Not last
We talked
week.
about Drummer Not,
Because Bromnar.
and that was it. But I think we'll save the Revenants for another time. We'll go over
We're
the
gonna do that
Revenants as
separate?
their
We
own
can't-
thing.
Well, they should
can't do it as
probably.
one?
You should do Revive Zora because that is.
Yeah, that's what I was
the
talking about. Just
Ekwidon
throw it in.
for
Yeah, I think we
cards.
should do that one. Yeah.
All right, so up next, Revived Zora.
Do that last.
Well, it's
Okay.
all the way at the top of the sheet. Then I gotta.
There you
scroll.
go.
We did it last time.
We didn't. Yeah, I know, but that was because it was at the bottom. But Revived Zora, creature, Spectre, 4 power, 1 armor. Play if your opponent has more forged keys than you. Forge a key at current cost. If you do, purge Zaora. If you are haunted, archives Revive Zaora.
Not great.
Excuse me.
I don't love cards where like you have to be losing for them to be okay. We're good. It's good if you're losing, but like you have to be losing, right?
But the
it's
whole thing is like
Good in
it reaps for Ember, and then it's gonna go to your archives. So you're gonna
it's
this
a
play
3.
if you're gonna get
It's
this
a 3.
Well, but hold on. I
But
mean,
you have to be behind at some point, which
Right.
should never be your goal.
it should never be your goal, but more times than not, you're gonna find yourself behind at one. Oh, my
you
opponent.
need to play better decks.
Well,
Well, the Wookiee finds himself behind.
I played
Yeah.
DT, so what do I know?
Okay, this is a good
Then you
one.
find yourself behind frequently.
I think it's at least.
I mean,
a
this
3.
is also good in a lot of combo oriented decks that are slower to set up than burst for a crap load of amber.
I mean,
Like
a free
this-
key is a free key, right?
but it's free key only if you're behind. So it's not.
And it's at
Oh,
current
nice.
cost.
it's
And
not
it's not
free.
free.
Yeah, it's at current cost.
But
The current
it's
cost
fine.
is a
Oh,
good
yeah,
cheat.
yeah.
It
Right.
I
is
think it's
good.
a mid-tier card. I say this is like a 3.
I was saying it was a 3. That's where I had put it. 3.
3 minus.
Don't think that's a grade here, but okay.
Is that a number?
3 minus -3.
No. I mean, it just
Yep,
when you're
that's what I
looking at it, I do think that it's going to fall on the 3, but it's on the lower side. I think
He's
that
just
I can
trying to
even
prices right our bids.
Got
Yes,
it. All
I
right.
am.
Jazz Core, what do
Price
you
is
got?
writing. I think it's not a great 3.
Oh, I had 3. Yeah, 3.
Now here's where
Because
we
there
all
will be
find out it's
times
a 2.
where
That's why I'm 3 minus. I'm good.
yeah,
Z?
Z doesn't like cards in this scenario either. He might have put it as a 2. I don't know. Let's see.
Presently, I have it as 4.
What?
Give me your thinking on this, Z.
It is a 4/1, which could easily reap for a long time. So that's generally the threshold to just be a 3-ish creature. It recurs itself in a set that has more pips than any other set. And it can be
so
a key cheat, which is the predominantly way you win games against really controlling decks. Like, key cheats is almost the only way I've ever seen decks beat stuff like Jock, right? That have their own oppressive combos that control your key situation. I could
get-
see
I
it
get the
being a
key-
3.
Yeah,
but I definitely do have it at a 4 right now.
I
mean,
see
you'll
the
never
key cheat, I
win
think
the
you're below.
game by playing this, right?
Right.
That's true.
Unless you're
But-
having a good time.
Well, but you're always
But that's-
winning.
But that
you're
argument
always
is kind of
winning.
like saying like playing key charge before key 3 is bad. I mean, it's
No,
obviously
no.
not as good as winning
No.
with it, but it's also
But
not bad.
We're going to use this to get closer and then Tachyon Pulse to close out. But we'll get to that later.
Dang
No,
straight.
you're going to go into a turn at 0, and you're going to play this. Then for key 1, they're an Ecto card charge for key 2. Then you're going to win to death, and next turn you key abduct. Like,
Yeah, this can be in any house.
Perfect.
You forget. Yep.
yeah,
that's
like
it.
this is not tied to any house.
All right. Azure 2,
Well,
6 power
let's see.
merchant, get a Rukia. He is enhanced with 2 capture pips and a discard pip. After fight, move each ember from a friendly creature to your pool. Give control of that creature to your opponent. From knowing what I know, Bryozark's a 6, right?
Yeah, this can kill browser.
So this kills Bryozark. So bare minimum, it's a 3. I'm
so
actually
here's
just.
here's the
God.
thing to read on this card is its after fight after reap are both non-optional, and if you don't have Amber, you're just giving a creature to your opponent.
That is not something I read when I read that until you pointed that out.
So it brings it down a little bit, but in the right decks where you capture a lot, this could be good.
I mean,
Wait,
3
what
pips
did you
is
say you're
solid
doing to your
too.
opponent? Giving your opponent?
A creature.
The
Creature.
creature, give control of
yeah,
that
yeah.
creature. Yeah. So you take the Amber, but I'm saying if your creatures, if you have a board with no Amber on it, you still give them a creature after reaping.
Yeah.
Does that knock
That's-
it down?
that's
Is
where
that
it makes
enough
it a
to
little
knock
weak.
it down to a 2?
Right
Nope.
down to you might have to give them this card.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I think so.
So
Yeah, it's very. So it's a rare. It's situationally
this is a good card for a rare spot. It's interesting.
Right.
Did y'all skip its enhancement?
Nope.
The enhancements are
I talked
nice,
about 'em.
right? Like,
Okay.
Does come natively with 2, 2. It is
I'm
allowing you to
torn.
capture Ember, so
2 capture and a discard.
and a discard. Well, I think the more important thing for this card is the 2 capture, because it's giving
I
something
think the
capture.
pips put it at 4, right? Puts it at a 4 range.
I'm still gonna.
Plus,
stick
it's
it
got
at,
an effect. It might even be better than a 4.
I'm gonna stick it at a 3.
it's not better than the 4, but it's sometimes in some decks it's a 2, in some decks it could be a 5. But it's still slow. No, I give it a 3 because it's slow. I give it a 3.
For this card, I expected to get 2 capture in the deck, 1 discard in the deck, which is F, and 1 Amber from it reaping itself, regardless of any other effect. It is a 4. You're getting an Amber, 2 capture, and efficiency, all from 1 card in your deck. No matter what, because the 6 power is pretty much going to reap unless they board wipe, and then that's kind of how we do that as far as all that goes. You expect a 6 power to get to reap 1 time. And if it does happen to fire its ability to move extra stuff to your pool, lottery.
Yay!
Gravy.
Yeah, this is gravy. I'm taking because also even if you are giving them, Ekwidon is only in 2 sets, and you're giving it to them tap down. So like if they do have Ekwidon, just kill something and then move it over, hurt and tapped. Which at that point it's still above 4. Like it would be still even be above a 4 because that means you got 2 capture, a discard, and killed something.
Yeah, and if you actually get to use its effect where you move Amber, that's
Like I said,
steal,
yeah.
right? That's slow steal. That's
yeah,
super
that's
power.
Christmas time. If that fires, like like you got a 6 value out of a 4 card.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Arbitrage. It is an artifact from Ekwidon. Your keys cost +1 Ember. During your draw cards step, refill your hand to an additional 1 card. Is a reprint, yes.
Yeah, it is a reprint.
But I don't know if do we want to go over the reprints? Just the new one. We never did this for Winds of Exchange, so.
No. Well, we talked about. I remember before the set
We gotta
launched,
go to
we
bed
thought this
tonight.
card.
So
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
just
time
keep
to
going.
go through
Yeah.
reprints.
All right, let's
Keep
not.
going.
We're not going through reprints. Also, reprinted belligerent card. Next, bonded auctioneer. 4 power Ekwidon creature. After reap, destroy an artifact. If you do, its controller gains 1 scrap. Return an artifact to its owner's hand. Where are all these? I don't get any of these. I always get freaking
This is now an uncommon.
Bo
but-
Riley's.
Yeah.
destroy an artifact if you use controller. Okay,
4
So it's like
power, and you get some R.
it's a weak auction
A
off.
reap
Yep.
auction off, but it does have the
Sorry.
scrap to
but he
return,
can
which
bounce.
is okay.
He's 4 power, so he's got to be a 3 or a 4. I mean, if he
I
works,
think
he
it's a
works.
3.
He's R, but he's R, and R is
he's
hard
gonna
to
be
come by.
higher.
So 4. I'm going with
Not-
4. No,
I'll go over like 2.5, 3. That's
So what
three.
Like anything.
Draft
I
card?
I'm in a great mood for Brobnar last week. I was like, everything's a 5. This time I'm like, it sounds like a 3.
Well,
Birthday card,
I think
little,
out of the houses that Brobnar is higher than Ekwidon here. What I think is interesting is you are forced to destroy an artifact. If there's an artifact that is out, if you reap, you're going to have to do it.
Yep. It's another not a may
That's not
effect,
you
so
may.
It is not a
you
man.
know,
Well,
that's all right. Then he can fight.
Yeah,
um,
and I'm fine with this. Go ahead.
but I was gonna say the other thing is there's a lot of, I don't know, maybe it's just me and maybe it's just the decks we're playing. There's a lot of artifacts in this. At least it feels like there's a lot of artifacts in this set,
A lot of bad artifacts.
but there's still a lot of them. Like,
All right, give us your
I'm-
number, Z.
I have
we gotta
them
look at these bad
a
artifacts.
3. Yeah, he's
Three?
a 3. Definitely 3.
fair enough.
All right,
Curse of
now we
Spontaneity? Okay, Curse of Spontaneity.
Yep,
It is an
spontaneity.
artifact. Has treachery. At the start of your draw card step, discard your hand. We actually just talked about this card this Tuesday.
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
just
and
having a
treachery-
discussion at our locals with it.
Yeah, and
I'm
treachery.
on the opinion that
Oh.
this card is not that good.
Yeah, and treachery is this card enters play under your opponent's control. If anyone doesn't know that.
It's so situational, right? Because if your opponent's playing a combo deck, this is great. If your opponent is playing just a value deck, then I don't know that this does that much.
And if they're playing a creature deck, it's awesome for them.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. They right, because they're more likely to have
Yes,
more
and
cards that match their board.
weak combo decks that have to fire their combo to win are not gonna like this card.
No.
Right? That is for sure. But I think across it, like this got played against me at Extra Crispy, and it gave me the game because I just one housed it from then on.
I
Yeah,
think
definitely
this card
enables
is
one
pretty,
housing.
I like this card.
It's a great tool to have, right? Like you might discard it. You probably
What?
should discard it a bunch of the time, but like
Why?
as a tool,
but like this
why?
just,
What Sheep talked about.
you cannot
But
hand-
like
well, okay, so here's the deal. I think Sheep and I had this argument. It wasn't really an argument, but we were talking about handcrafting. Sheep is saying that handcrafting really isn't a thing anymore. It's just go fast.
I never said that.
Well,
Yeah. I
handcrafting is
was
not
in
as
that
big.
Don't stop that.
conversation, but there's no way Sheep said that.
Handcrafting is definitely a thing. What I was saying, and you have to handcraft when you're not playing board plus cards every turn. Then you gotta play board plus cards where you can, building up to a bigger hand to get value for when they handle your board, so you're not getting good consistent value. This, in a lot of situations, unless like this card, I think if you have this card and very good repeatable C, this card is very, very potent. But average, you don't have the C, and if I land a board and you can't keep me, I just get to play that board plus move cards, turn things, use my board again, play more cards, get rid of everything else. You then have to answer the board with this card. Otherwise, they almost always get to go back to the house that's already on.
I think your math is way off there.
I have played it.
I give this a 4. I think it's a good tool that sometimes you discard, but
what's middle of the road?
it's going to be real
Is the
powerful in a number of situations.
Is a
I give
4
4.
middle of the road or is 3 middle of the road? Are they both?
Technically,
No,
3
three's
is the
middle.
dead even because
Three's
there
middle.
are 7 ordinal values. 3
Okay,
is the
I'm
middle.
going to also go with
Um,
a 3.
4.
Like a 4, but yeah.
I have it at
I'm-
4, but I think it's because. Oh, go ahead, Sutherland. You probably know the number anyway.
I was gonna say, Sutherland
Um,
No,
knows all the
I was gonna
numbers.
say I abstain. I need to play with it more. Don't have
So
I've
like,
not actually
I have
played
it
with
at a 4 because of like synergies directly in the house that it's printed in. There are a lot of cards that give your opponent cards in this house, and this directly mitigates the bonus you're giving them from the cost that is inherently on other Ekwidon cards. There are 3 commons that directly give them cards. Actually, 4. I forgot Closed Door was in the set too. So there are 4 cards that already give them hand size, which then, if they're constantly doing this, like reduces the value because just the way the card cycles come out. And
That's true. That
technically-
art
But you're still
project
giving them
suddenly
and
becomes
one
technically,
turn.
you could fire Art Project if this curse is on them. And
But it's a draw
greatly-
before the
greatly
turn, so
mitigate-
you're giving them an increased hand size for that turn, though.
yeah, but it's still going to mitigate the next turn because then just the way the game is played.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
All right.
Well, we will see who is right given time.
De-escalate. Is
Yes.
this a new card or
I
is
mean,
this a
either way,
reprint?
it's not a chase card. It's new.
No.
It's new. Whoa, and the set seem to just meld together right now.
Well, it's definitely new. This is the new king of board wipe.
De-escalate. Destroy each creature. Your opponent archives the top 3 cards of their deck.
Okay.
Well, so now that we knew it's the king of board wipe, 6.
Board wipes ever get to be 6?
I don't know.
5.
It's the
4
king of them.
5s. Okay.
I'm gonna keep it going and say 3.
No, this is better.
You're always
He's just
close.
here to say 3.
You're always close if you say 3.
Oh, yeah, we had talked about this card before a little bit, right? Where potentially 3 dirty archives is better than 3 chains on you,
Hell yeah.
right?
Well, and there's scenarios in the game where they get nothing.
Yeah, they can be at bottom of deck. You could also have
You
your
can also force a flip.
legacy Maverick Desania. Yeah.
Or like
yes.
Right.
Let's score based on that.
Or like I
Yeah,
said, the
yeah,
biggest
my-
thing I think is you can force a flip. You can force a haunted player who may be
no,
able
this doesn't force a flip. You could only
No.
force a flip on draw.
correct. So it will archive, but then with an empty
You
deck,
can make it
they have to
awkward, but
now.
yeah.
You have to play very
Yeah.
extraordinarily awkwardly to not flip. Me and Sydney came into this because she was trying so desperately not to flip her deck. I don't even remember what I played, but it ended up because it's like, well, you can play no cards and not flip, but the chances of you playing no cards are pretty slim.
Yes, but this doesn't actually force a flip. So if
Right.
they have some haunted effect
Right.
at the beginning of their turn, they'll still be haunted.
Mm-hmm.
Sydney needs to become one with the tight pips.
The tight pips. I do.
Yeah.
I have now become a fan of
Mhm.
my tight pips after this weekend. But let's
Mhm.
Make play tight.
Mhm.
Acquirees Fulcrum.
All right, speaking of tight, I'll give this card a 5.
Oh, yeah, we never scored this card. Z.
5
5.
it is. It is excellent.
All right. So the Fulcrum, it is another artifact. Pip of Ember every time you play it. At the end of each player's turn, they may gain 1 Ember. If they do, their opponent draws 2 cards. It's rare.
That-
too,
I'm
by
gonna
the
put
way.
this one at
What do you got,
2
Sudley?
only because
Mm.
in this set there's a lack of just like amber control you can really throw out. Obviously you do have stuff like generous offer in Ekwidon that combos with it.
This isn't amber control. This is just gaining.
Well, right. But my issue with it is you're allowing your opponent to get to that 6th ember when they need to. Sometimes you could just get stuck at 5 on a turn. And this
Yeah.
this set doesn't necessarily have too many ways to gain a tempo. You have like Bog Spitter, you have Trawler, you have Veil of Ectoplasm,
There's lots of
Generous Offer.
I mean, like, my
Lots of
read on this
capture.
card is I don't like it.
Yeah. I
If
mean,
it
the
was
value of
at
2
the start of your
cards.
turn, it would be fantastic, or it would be at least interesting. But at the end, you gain 1 amber, then you give them 2 cards, and they get the response now with a bigger hand.
Right.
I'm just not loving it.
But you're giving your opponent the opportunity to do that to you as well.
Yeah, but I already know I don't think this is a good trade. So yes, I'm playing this card and hoping you use it poorly. Or I mean, like, if you know they have no amber control, like there are times you can play it, but I'm not liking this. Am I wrong? See, am I
I'm-
wrong?
you're-
This is bad.
You're right.
I'm with
I
you
mean,
on it.
Someone I was
The
talking to
value of two
recently,
cards.
we had this big conversation about how double-sided effects that affect both of the table are usually bad. Like, no one wants to see
Yeah.
more of these things. So,
This one, the only place where I see this is when you force them to flip. This
Yeah.
is a force them to flip card.
Yes, that's what I was
And
saying.
it
This does
could
force
have
the
an
flip.
do
effect
that.
there.
which if you're playing offset sometimes, since you're the onset, obviously, like this could be more valuable to them to do that to you, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh.
And again, because you have that option to do it to them, they have that option to do it to you. So
Mm.
this is
This is a
like
one.
A 1.
Yeah, because you might
One.
have to discard it, which makes it sad.
Yep.
Very sad.
I do actually have it at a 2 at the moment because oddly
It
it
has an
does
amber
combo with Manifold and Corner the Market
Is
pretty
Corner the
well.
Market inside?
But that is the only reason.
Go ahead and look at it.
No, maybe it's not.
I don't think it is.
It does combo with Manifold though.
Okay.
And that is one of my favorite cards.
We'll get to that one.
Elena the Charming. 4 power, merchant human from Ekwidon. Treachery. After you forge a key, give control of the most powerful friendly creature to your opponent.
This is bad.
Yeah, I mean, this was in, I played a deck with this tonight, and it did not trigger once, despite me getting it early game both times.
And lets them get to key faster because
Both
I
times
guess actually
Drew the card.
this is treachery, but it doesn't have the versatile. I guess
No.
I was thinking all treacheries have versatile.
No.
This one does not. So if they're not playing Ekwidon, then you can just toss this over there. Who really cares?
Yeah, but it's not bad, but it's not like good. Like
No, it's
yeah.
bad. It's generally a bad card.
I mean, you're like, at least I don't have Fulcrum, but like in this
mean,
rare slot.
But like, what?
And
what,
it might just be that they're giving you this back. Woohoo.
what does this
Yeah.
do? I guess is my
And then,
question.
and then it works on you. Then you forge a key and have to give them a better creature.
Yeah.
I hate this card. I'm on it. I hate this card.
One.
Elena, the discard.
Elena the 1. Z.
I mean,
I have
Oh.
her at a 0. She does
Yeah,
nothing.
okay.
She is a chain in your
Yeah.
deck.
I forgot 0
you
was an
can't reap
option.
with her.
Always
It
forget it.
won't really do anything for you 90% of the time. Like, it's not good.
Yeah, agreed.
I like your
Yeah.
0 rating.
I totally
But-
forgot 0 was an option.
How did this get made?
This is
it
there
should
are
have
gonna
a
be
pip
people
on it or
who
something.
love this stupid card. They're like, oh, the Elena, and then it made them give me their, I don't know, something good that's big.
They're
I
big
don't know what's actually
Rilo.
good.
And
and
even
big.
most
one.
like normally the most powerful ones aren't the ones you want. Like they will have fight effects, and then you won't be able to use them. It doesn't change their house.
Yeah.
Like no, like this card does nothing.
Yeah, it's bad.
It does nothing. Envoy of Acquire.
I'm trying, but it's bad.
We can
There's
just
another
all,
terrible
we
card,
can
but
just
that's a
go with
reprint.
bad. but
Reprint.
Envoy of Ecuador. Yep. Again, the set seems to mesh. Yeah. Estate Sale. I know this one's new.
CTP.
Yeah.
Love it.
Play
5.
purge a non-creature card from your discard pile. If you do, gain 2.
Oh, he's
So,
swinging big on this one. Why do you like it so much?
I was playing this one, and it made it harder to get haunted, is what I will say. But on the other hand, there are plenty of bad cards in this set that you're discarding through discard pips anyways, and then you can purge them, and that isn't bad for Amber.
I mean, there's
Or
so much milling in
you-
this set that when you're reshuffling, you can get rid of the things that you don't want to see for the match and gain Ember in the process.
And in theory, you can also Infernus protect yourself.
Yeah, this is true too.
Yep, and it's an Ember game that
Yep.
isn't impacted by Infernus. Yeah, so I would give it a 4.
Yeah, I'm in the 3/4 land. It's fine.
It's deck thinning.
I don't want tons of them, but I don't hate them.
It is a common. A 2. I mean, what are you getting? 2. I think it's a 5.
I also had one with a discard pip. That definitely made the card better.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that would be
That's
really good.
nice.
I have this at a 3. I'll
Great.
mention
Okay.
the kind of reasons why. With Dan, like it's great in certain kinds of decks, but I feel the best house in the set is Geistoid, and this is really bad for Geistoid. Doesn't want to see this.
Why?
Because it wants to be haunted.
So just the taking one card out of your discard pile, making it a little harder to get haunted. Is
It ends
not
up
good enough.
mattering a little bit more often than I would like it to.
Okay.
I mean, it's a net 0 because you play it and get rid of a card in the discard.
Well, no, it's a net -1 because if you played any other card, you didn't lose one in your discard.
Yes.
Mhm.
And-
It slows down your
and
haunting. for sure.
Ecto Charge is relevant for what I'm saying. Ecto
Yep.
Charge is uncommon, so it's gonna be in a lot of decks.
Weird story. Ecto Charge is
think
uncommon, and I've opened probably, I don't know, at this point, what have we opened? About half a dozen decks in sealed play. Yet to find one.
I've only opened 6 decks. I have 3 Ecto Charges.
Yeah, not a one. Let's see.
Uncommonly
no grouping.
common.
No grouping.
No grouping.
Okay,
yep.
flea markets
Reprint
reprinted.
Forbidden Tome. Enhanced with a drop hip and 2 discard.
But wait. I want to talk about the Ecto Charge note for a second, though, because you're losing 1 from your discard pile, but you're
Mhm.
gaining 2 Ember.
Yeah.
So
But you want to Ecto
you would
Charge
have
for
lost,
free.
because that would have been 1 less Ember cost for Ecto Charge, but you're gaining 2 Ember instead.
And Ecto Charge is in a different house than this one.
I have 8 Ecto Charge decks, by the way.
Oh my god.
I mean, I
I
just have it. That's funny. I just have it as 3 because it affects your haunted state ongoingly. I could be convinced to possibly move this up to a 4, but like, we don't have in the Z scoring system the way we do the decks. We don't have a way to see currently that there's like a bunch of discards in a certain house, right? Like
Right.
if there are 5 discard pips inside Ekwidon, there's probably not a better card in your fucking deck than a state sale. Like, it becomes gold standard of the cards you want to play, because you just want to stay in the house and just play Ekwidon for the rest of the game. And there are going to be tons of fun decks like that. So, if we
Forbidden
start to see more of that in the meta, it might go up.
Forbidden Tome. Another artifact. I already went over the enhance. Each haunted player refills their hand to 1 additional card during their draw card step.
And it's enhanced, right?
Yep, I already went through the
Yeah,
enhancements.
he covered that.
I covered the enhancements.
Oops.
I missed that part.
So, right, this
Oops.
is a
2.
this is a better version of Howling Pit Mine. What do we call it in this game?
Howling Mine.
It's the Howling Pit.
The Howling Pit.
There you go.
Howling Mine's
Yeah,
definitely
the mine
in,
is the magic version
definitely
of
in
it.
Magic.
Okay, so it's sort of better than that because it's time situational, and in theory, your Grim Reminders deck is going to do a better job staying in Haunted maybe longer. And it
Yes.
has 3 pips, which makes it better. So it's all in all probably better than that. I still am never of a fan of a card that gives my opponent stuff. So it still stays in the. It's probably 3 because it's got the triple pips on it.
Yeah.
I'll take those triple pips.
I feel like there's, with all the discarding pips in this set, that also helps enhance it. So I really didn't really love the Howling Mine, but this one I like quite a bit more.
Still don't like it. 2.
3.
Man, I think this is closer to a 4. I really like my pips. Draw and 2 discard is really nice, and with the ability in house and in set to be able to stay haunted more, I think it's a little bit better than average.
Cheap.
I
We got
might,
Z.
Oh,
I might have it too high, but if this was literally just draw, discard, it would be a 3. Nothing else.
That's where I'm at.
I have it at a 5 because from my play experience, like you stay haunted way more than Offset. It would be a 4, I guess, if it's just Grim Reminders versus Grim Reminders, because then that part's just a complete wash. But if you're not playing against the Grim Reminders deck, I would expect to net 2 more cards per game than them. Which is a significant advantage, enough to move it to a 5, which is where I have it. If the whole meta ends up being Grim Reminders versus Grim Reminders, this definitely goes down to a 4. But I expect to still see lots of Woe. So this versus Woe, especially since Woe keeps most of their cards in front of them in a big line, I expect this to be.
We call this the battle line.
The Woe line.
The Woe line.
Yeah, but we haven't got to Mars yet. Mars has a perfect answer for a Woe battle line. Oh, you got 10 creatures? I've got a plan for you. But we will catch that on
We'll get that on Mars. Fortune Reverser. Pip of Ember every time you play it. It is an upgrade. This creature's text box is considered blank, except for traits. Why do I foresee problems with this card? Play. Destroy all other upgrades attached to this creature. What
It's
other
weird, right?
What
It's
other
like-
card was that? Was a discard back in the day, wasn't it? That blanked out
Shadows of
creature?
Dis.
That's the one that caused
Right,
all
but that
sorts
did
of
it to
issues.
all.
It did it to all
yeah,
creatures.
That's all
some
creatures.
issues. Mainly memory issues, not like actual play issues. People just forgot.
Again, weird issues with your Google
Right.
and other cards. If cards put cards under it, it gets a little goofy, maybe.
I think this one's fine. I don't think this creates any work.
No, I this is fine. Yes, I think people will goof it up and that. Does this blank text, static text given by other creatures?
Yeah, like what's the
No,
Like a Ludo effect.
no, it would not.
Because it's talking about the physical
It's
card.
not in the
Yeah.
text box.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually physically said its text box is considered blank. So if it's
And even if it got a different
that creature
upgrade
gains.
after this, it would still get that upgrades effect.
After the fact, yeah. So
this
No,
does
because
nothing.
This
I mean,
card
it has an ember
continually blanks the box.
yes,
No, not continually. It just blanks whatever is printed on the card itself.
I don't think so.
Because if it did anything else, it wouldn't need the playability.
No, the playability destroys the upgrades.
Yeah,
And then
it's upgrade paid for Scudam
all
and
upgrades
that.
do is say this creature gains, which is the
Yes.
same thing as other creatures like Ludo. Like it's the same wording.
Yes, I understand what you're saying, but if you put another upgrade on it, I don't think it triggers.
why would
does.
If it's a
it literally
It does.
says that
because
the
this
only thing that
creature's
is
text box
its
is
text box
considered
is
blank.
considered blank. If it
And
gains
the-
gains something afterward, that's not in its text box.
yes,
Orky is
that's how
correct.
the game effects work. Things go in its text box when it says this creature gains. That's how
No,
other things have been ruled, I
no,
think.
it's not because that's why Clone doesn't grab the stuff, and that's why
Clone doesn't say take their text box.
the other one, the stupid one that no one
Mimic
remembers-
Gel?
Mimic Gel. That's why Mimic Gel doesn't do that either. Because originally we thought it did, and then they came back and clarified it's just the text box. Therefore, you're not grabbing other effects from the upgrades or other creatures gaining it.
It would keep them anyways because the upgrades aren't there, so they would disappear as soon as.
If you're reading it the
You
way
did.
you're interpreting it, Mimic Gel should grab the upgrades effects, which is
No, because the upgrade effects are only there because of the upgrade. As soon as the upgrader goes, the creature no longer has the this gains effect.
but you're
Like-
making the opposite argument now.
No, I'm not.
I think
Okay.
you are.
I'm making the exact.
He's
I'm
not
saying there would be one card is saying this has, and the other card here is saying it's blank. Right? So it's kind of the has or the can versus the can't, but it isn't those words. I don't know. I'm not convinced. It's not worth arguing about right now.
Judge.
On
That's
we
what I
go.
was just
I mean,
gonna
so
say that.
I think-
Judge.
Like, I know what the judges have said. Like,
So I think that this card was put in here to counter Bryo Thought Swim. I think that's what they were thinking. What do we do to counter that? Yeah, put this in. So occasionally
It's a
it
3.
counters certain things,
It's
but most of
fine.
the time I think it's a 2.
Actually, Z hates upgrades. It's a 2.
Yep, it has an Ember Pip though. Like I
It
think
has an Ember.
Doesn't matter.
That's why it's a 2.
I actually had this out of 1. Somebody convinced me, mainly because of like mothers at ease, Bryo. Like there's some shit in this game that's super oppressive that this does shut down. So it is a 2.
Right, and you can't yet exhume it, right? So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
this gets rid of really strong reap effects, so it's as
Yeah.
good as the card that says, not quite as good, but in line with the cards that say this creature can't reap, this creature can't fight, because it gets rid of their important effects.
yeah,
Yeah.
Which
I mean,
are
for me,
probably
the most
also
important
twos.
is that it gets rid of their static effects. Like you don't have to kill the mother, you don't have to kill the dog, like etc.
I don't have
Yeah.
to kill the witch.
Yep.
Alright.
There you go. Here's your 3-power Witch of the Eye. It's now a Nephilim.
Except Niflip can
Witch
get
Queen.
through taunt.
that'll be a good hit.
Right.
Oh yeah, Witch Queen now. Like that's a real thing.
Or leaders in general.
Oh yeah, you have that Harmala tune. Boom.
Yeah. Freelancer is a reprint, I believe. Is the Sapper a reprint?
No.
I don't believe so.
Scrap.
Nope.
All right, so oh boy. We're just gonna call him Sapper. 3 power, 3 armor, play / after fight. Yeah, you pronounce that. Take control of an
Nope.
enemy artifact. Give your opponent control of Sapper. Scrap, destroy a friendly artifact. If you do, destroy an enemy artifact.
So many words.
I'm giving this one a 4. Artifact control is good and it's versatile. It's play scrap, so there's no other conditions that really need to be met other than having an artifact to destroy.
But if I don't have an artifact to destroy, I'm kind of I'm SOL.
And do you want to destroy your artifact? Like you,
Yeah.
like
I
This
mean,
isn't a you may destroy
Usually
an
the reason why I
artifact,
need artifact control is because your opponent has a key artifact, right? So like that's the
but I have to have one.
It'll
so
be
I
worse.
play my
have to pick it
fulcrum,
up.
blow it up, and then
But
Yeah.
3 is hella tough. Again,
Which-
it's a nice one because it doesn't give versatile, so even when you give it to them, unless they're playing this house, it doesn't really matter.
and like
no.
you're giving them a
pause,
creature,
guys.
but if it's a one-sided artifact, you can just take it.
But you're giving them the
did you
creature
just say something
regardless.
about its like being 3/3?
No.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
You will never have this on your battle line. It's not an if. Like I hate the way they worded this.
Yeah.
Because it says take control of an enemy artifact on play.
Yeah.
Period.
Period.
Give it to them. So you never have it.
Yes, unless they then fight with it.
Right.
This is basically a treachery card. Like,
But I was saying it doesn't have the versatile, so
but still, it's still not a 3/3 for your battle line. And
no,
You're just not using
I understand
it.
that.
yeah, you're never repeat with this guy.
So what Z
There's
is
some
telling me is
places,
Situational.
sir, you could put this into play.
Well, you can put it into play, but if there's no artifacts, again, if your opponent has no artifacts, there's no.
This is a mediocre artifact control card. Like it's okay because it does. You can both steal or destroy, maybe because you can only destroy if you have an artifact to destroy.
Yep.
So that's a little bit weaker. This just falls into the 2/3 area to me.
Yeah. There are not
It's a
many
2.
artifacts that are friendly
One.
you want to destroy.
I was gonna
It's
say
too
1.
conditional, but it is 2. Yeah, maybe a 1. I don't know.
One.
2.
I
I'm gonna
think
say
it's
2 though.
Way too.
Oh, no,
simple.
I disagree with you guys on this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you're wrong.
So it,
You can buy all my Sapper decks. Greg the
yeah,
Sapper.
there you go.
Greg.
so it was a 3. Through the course of our conversation just now, it got moved to a 2.
There you go. Nice.
When I rated this card a 3, I did not realize it didn't say if you do. Like I thought it was like take control of the enemy artifact. If you do, give it Sapper. Like This
That'd be way
template,
better.
this templating is real bad. Like,
Why does it not say if you do? I don't understand this.
They just
why we're
probably
not
forgot-
consistent for Keyforge.
It's
Help me.
GG.
Just
They
have
just forgot the 3
trickery on
words.
the
I
damn
never saw
card.
this card. Like,
This should have just had. This could have just had treachery too added to it.
So
I guess
is this simply
this text box
simply
is
a 2
pretty
because
full.
it has R? Is that the only reason you're
Yep.
giving it a 2 is because it has
Yep.
R?
I
like,
mean, ours
there are
has
almost
2
no
forms of
artifacts
R.
that you want to destroy on your side of the battle line in this set. So, like, it's still destroy. It's real destroy. So it's going to be at least a 2. That's something.
Okay.
And most of the time, you would hit that destroy off house because you'd hit this with a discard pip or something. There's a lot of discard.
Well, but again, you have to have a friendly artifact to destroy an artifact of theirs.
Yeah, that's why it's a low.
Hey,
value
maybe
card.
this is the use of Fulcrum. like you
I'm
say.
actually arguing for it to
You
go down
discard
to go down to a 1. 'Cause I don't think this is a 2, but
Artifacts still matter a lot.
that's an argument for another
Okay.
day. Gem Coat Vendor is a reprint. Generous Offer is a reprint. Grizzly Exchange. Weird story. The art on the card doesn't look that grisly, but it
Yeah, it
is-
doesn't at all.
It is
No.
not very grisly. It is an action.
Maybe one of those guys is named Grizzly.
No, maybe. Yeah. Uncle
should-
Grizzly.
Uncle
definitely
Grizzly.
be a bear.
Yeah, Bear Flute. All right. So
It should be.
Pip of Ember. Every time you play it, put the top 5 cards of your opponent's discard pile on the bottom of their deck. Discard the top 5 cards of your deck. I'm curious to see where he
So
puts
is
this one.
that a D-Haunter?
D-Haunter, you're haunting you. I've never really had it.
Yeah.
The 5 and 5 has never really gotten me there, but it does have a Pip of Ember.
That's fine. Yeah.
It's whatever a Pip of Amber is worth.
Is that
2.
worth the 3?
Fine.
Or what's a Pip of Ember worth? See, a 2?
If all it was a Pip of Amber, it would be a 1.
Oh, okay.
I give us a
Okay,
2.
so this might be a 2 because it has some situational use, but there may
Yeah.
also be a time when you got to be like, I got to discard this because I can't give them those 5 cards back.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you know,
Depending on what their 5
Yeah.
cards are, I just to me this is
Yeah.
just a Pip of Ember.
I would
Some
put
of
this
the
at a
time.
1 personally.
Because it go either way. Sometimes you definitely don't want it in their discard pile.
It's your turn, though. You do have more effect of their discard pile during your turn. 'Cause you can
It's true,
you
can do
use
some
it.
It's from the-
fighting, you
from
can
the
do
Normally,
some
don't want to
stuff.
redraw creatures. Like, you could have just played de-escalate and then play this, right? Like,
Yeah. I give 2.
I just I've never had this hit for anything of anything. I just it's a Pip of Ember
Yeah,
to me.
Yeah,
It's
so
like-
you're
I'm with
playing
Wiki
it.
on
Wait,
that.
you have this card, but you don't have Ecto Charge?
Yeah, you're correct. Yes. The
that's
answer
what
is
happens
yes.
when you play
Yep.
Sealed, man.
I was pulling Ecto Charge and Seal.
Yeah.
That's what I've been playing.
Well, this is
I
what
don't-
happens when you're a Wookiee.
Yeah. Have you seen my
Either way,
here's what I need you to do. I need you to go to drawbetter.cards, right? You can sign up for our Patreon right now to get some to get your Grim Reminders ratings. If you are interested, go over to Patreon, sign up. That'll give you over to drawbetter.cards, and then you can get some ratings, you can get some alpha scores, put Z to work, and you can find out how good
God damn it.
what.
Oh, yep, yes, make me work more.
Yes, make Z work more. And you can find out what the ratings of your Grim Reminders decks. Nowhere else on the internet will rate your Grim Reminders deck for you yet to date.
By hand. Yep.
So go over to
Well,
Patreon.com.
previews are out, but it's
Right? You
Never-
can get your ratings now.
Yeah.
However, don't remember where I was going with this. My Grim Reminders experience has not been great.
You keep opening like 80 Z decks.
Oh, that's
Like,
real
your deck-
bad.
Yeah, my
Yeah, his
my
decks
Z
suck.
scores are like
90s, 80s,
93, 87. I finally pulled a 122 this week, and it's you know what? It's fun, but it's still mid.
Yep.
Anyways,
All right,
what's
let's
Grizzly
keep
Exchange?
grinding.
2.
2. Fair enough.
There we go.
I can live with
Historian Lee Darkin.
You gain an amber, you put 6 cards in your discard pile. You're almost haunted right there.
Yeah, you sure are. Unless I'm already haunted, then I don't really know if it matters. 4 power Philosopher from Ekwidon. After Reap, each player returns a top card of their discard pile to their hand.
I did some shit with this one.
4?
Yeah, there's moments where this could be good.
He's
but it is
above
slow.
average. He's above average power. You have control of what's going to the top of your discard pile. I think this spells permanent record, which we'll go over here in a little bit. Permanent record shenanigans. All over it. If possible. Probably he dies. But I'm going to go 4.
That feels too high. Like, I don't think it triggers that often.
3?
But when it does trigger, it can be good. It's situational. I think
It is a 4.
Yeah, I think it's a 3.
It's a 4, remember. Well, there's
I
a lot of big
agree.
stompy
I
Brahmin
think-
roaming around now.
I think
4
I've
the new
triggered
3?
this to useful effect like once. And like they are also getting the top card, so like sometimes it's not. I mean, you have more control there, but yeah, I don't think it's any better than a 3.
Which house has the?
I would
draw
put this
3
at a
discard
4 or
3
5
card?
personally, because
This
Ekwidon has generally like a few high impact actions that are great to recur, and there's some funky lockout potential that this can enable.
Anyways.
Lockout.
Yeah, I don't know about that lockout. But
What's
anyways.
the lockout?
Table flip.
I'm forgetting the card name off the top of my head.
Corner is
Oh, convenient. No. It's all good.
I'm reading right now.
Okay. Anyways, where do you got it, Z?
I only have it at a 2. I have played with this. It doesn't fire for me. And then no matter what you are, I mean, I have been fine with giving them the card back the one time I got it to fire, because again I just killed something that sucked. I don't know. It falls at a 4 for me. At a 2 for me. So
Is
I do
4 power the
understand
new
the
3
argument.
power?
Yeah, it dies really fast.
Yeah.
The thing is, we've been playing a lot of Grim Reminders versus Grim Reminders, and there's a ton of a ton. So like 4 powers are living, but I know he would survive against other sets more. I probably could justify moving him to 3.
I mean, I could just see a world where I permanent record, steal 2, Lynn, you can do your fighty stuff if you want. Then Lynn Darken, get my permanent record back, exhaust something else to steal another 2.
Man, you sure have a lot of creatures in play.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
Well, I have
I can-
3 creatures in play in a creature heavy meta? Oh no.
Yeah, they're all getting deaded.
Headed.
All right, let's go on to the next 1 or 0 pip card.
High
Or 1 or
ox-
0 score card.
High Hospitality.
Hospitality.
High Hospitality.
Oh my goodness.
Hospitality.
Yeah,
I think this card's a hoax.
It's got to be a 1 because it
Yeah,
has a
this
pip of
card's
ember.
real bad.
Choose an enemy creature and a friendly creature until the end of turn. They flip flop power, right? Yeah, they flip flop power.
No.
Nope.
That's not
No.
this one.
That would be better.
Until the end of turn, the friendly creature's power is equal to the number, equal to the enemy creature's what? Until the end of turn, the
Yeah,
friendly
you're
creature's
treating them
power
like
is
this
equal
card.
to the enemy creature's power.
That is actually worse than I thought it was.
Like,
I
what
thought-
is like?
I thought
card
I did think they flipped. Like, oh,
No,
wow.
this just makes you can have, like, in theory, if you have a ready creature in this house, you can at least guarantee you're big enough to fight whatever he's got. Except if they got armor, it doesn't. This card
Yeah, like
sucks. It is just an amber pip. It estate sales really nicely.
yeah.
God, is this card
Yep.
bad? And it's in
Estate-
common, and you can get 3 of them. Oh, it's so bad.
It's technically.
Well,
you can get
technically,
5 of
okay.
these.
So if I fight
Oh,
into
sure.
them,
Oh
right?
yeah.
But you regularly get 3 commons. Like, that's
Yeah.
a common occurrence
Like,
of commons.
So what?
2 all the
At
time.
common, there's a 25% chance you have it in deck, and like a 9% chance you have at least 2. Like,
Yeah.
that's horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
I'm gonna guess it wasn't a 2.
I mean, it has a
and
pip.
1.
Yeah, I mean, it has a pip,
Guys,
so it should be 1, but no, it's so upsetting. It's a 0 because this
well,
is
every
the
time
emotional
we made
damage.
a Geistoid card, we had to make a better. We had to make one of these worse. So like it's the Ekwidon. It's a trade-off.
Okay, I got
Yeah.
you.
So
Have you
There's
seen
only
Winds of Death?
There's only so many Z score points to assign throughout the set.
Many Ekwidon cards sacrifice their lives for Winds of Death.
Did you give it a 1 because of its Amber Pip, or did you give it a 2 because you thought it might have?
You
And
thought it
most of the fish house exists because of Ectocharge.
So what
So
did it
what
come
would
out
you
to?
give this Z?
Oh, it's a 1. It's a pip. That's all you
Yeah.
get.
Yeah.
That's the correct answer, but I give it a 0 on principle.
0 is reserved for like that
Who-
Elangula.
On
Who
principle,
designed-
sir. On
Who
principle.
designed this card? Because I kind of want to be real not nice to them.
Yeah.
Hoaxpitality? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a hoax. Incarnation
Yeah,
Pod.
it's-
Pip of Ember. Every time you play it, action, choose a card in any discard pile and put it on the bottom of its owner's deck. Scrap. Purge the bottom card from each player's deck.
I don't hate it. I personally really like Draw Disruption.
I have not had
Bottom of the deck,
meaningful
though.
success with this card, and it's a common.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it gives you something to
it's a
destroy when you discard
2.
your sapper.
It's like
it's a 1
2.
for me. It's a 1.
Yeah, we don't want this card.
It's
in
a
our
no.
I
deck.
would put
It's
this
a
at
no.
a 3.
It's a no for
For
me,
me.
dog.
3?
3, yeah.
1.
Like,
Yeah.
what's it doing for you? Like, I guess
It's
Hey,
okay. Like
somebody's got to buy the bad decks. It can be Sutherland.
when you're
Yeah, I mean,
when you
you-
get to the bottom of your deck and end of the game, important things are happening. You're making your opponent draw the junk back from their deck that they don't need at that point in the game.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's assuming you
that's
land
okay.
this early.
I guess you could put the
You're
Ecto
in-
Charge on the bottom of
hold
your
on.
deck. That's good.
Southerly, you live so much in Christmas land. I love you. I want to hug you because you assume the best in everything. But like this
It's
is
cold
No,
in
I
there.
don't.
it's not an Omni, it's an action. You're not gonna be in Ekwidon that much.
Yeah, especially when
Well,
you got
can
a
put
bunch
your
of
own Ecto Charge
hospitalities.
or Winds of Death at the bottom of your deck.
I can
I've hit that
step
a few times.
I can step on Legos too, but I don't choose to. Like it's
Well,
just
well, Wookie just says for most artifacts, like are what you just said. Wookie. Like that's most
Yeah.
artifacts.
I understand that's most artifacts. So but like really on average per game, what are you getting? 3
2.
Cho-
You're
2?
gonna do this 2 times.
You're gonna do this twice.
You're going to get
So are
potentially
you really
one key card
clogging,
on the bottom
are
of your
you
deck.
really clogging their hand? With
At
But
the
we
end
are
of the
also
game-
talking
at
like,
the
that
bottom
was
of the deck,
standard,
yeah.
though, like to Elf's defense, like if I'm playing a good Grim Reminders deck and this house, the one we're talking about right now, gets 4+ discard pips, that 2 probably becomes 3 or 4 because of what happens when you have discard pips in one house. So
And
It
if you have
has
multiples of
potential.
these,
I would not
because
want
it is
multiple.
at common. Well, right, but you can just stack the bottom of your deck with one whole house.
Yeah, this is true.
This
Well, there's
This-
a
these are-
different card in a different house that does that instantly and auto magically
yeah, like
for
way
you.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
Like,
that's
I'll just take
shuffled in though. It's
all
not just
12 of
stacking the
them.
full
Well,
bottom.
To their defense,
bit-
when you get 2 of them, Elf, that just means you're playing that house for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Which isn't
Okay.
terrible.
This is
It's
fine.
like-
This is a 2. It's okay.
This is a 1.
Whatever.
It's a 2. See, what is it?
It's a 2.
There we go. Insurance policy reprint.
No one mentioned it. This is actually not bad in Furnace defense. Like y'all
Okay.
mentioned something about one other card before this. Like,
yeah.
In a set that is very vulnerable to Infernus, this is the best way to protect a card. It is a little slow, but at least it'll do it.
Insurance
Well,
policy
let's-
reprint. Iron Handy. I mean Heidi. Heldy?
Ooh.
I
I think-
own.
I think Wookiee wants
the-
an iron handy.
She's
I
been
own
saying
the
it and
one
I
and
can't
only
not say it.
signed copy of this card.
Who'd you
Oh.
have sign it?
Nice.
Iron
Nice.
Handy yourself?
I have the, this is this
I
is
signed
one
it.
of
It
This
says
is
Dr.
the-
Sheep.
from the WoW pre-release or from the WoW
Oh.
Game Founder. This is one of the one of ones, and I bought.
Oh. Doesn't make
So
the card
I-
better, but that is cool.
No, it's absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
This
so-
card is.
Iron
This is
Hand.
another like.
Can I say what the card? Can I say what the card does before we say it's horrible? I mean, it is
No.
horrible, but can I tell you?
Maybe.
It's a 5-power
Go
creature.
ahead.
While you are haunted, Iron Heidi, and each of Iron Heidi's neighbors get +2 armor.
There's so much direct C going around. This has never meant anything. It's just a 5-power creature. It might reap once, and then it goes away.
It's a 1.
I have yet to see it do anything.
I've had the opposite experience in my Grim Reminders games because I've personally gone up against a lot of scary Brobnar pods, and this was sort of stopping them from being able to destroy key creatures.
So then they actually reaped and then beat you?
I mean, Beanstalk, Brawling Grounds, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Where
But,
is Iron Heidi?
I've always liked Bulwark. This reminded me of Bulwark.
Yes.
I have it at a 3. That's what I had Bulwark.
I mean,
at.
Bulwark-
I love Bulwark too.
It's the same
Bulwark
card.
mattered more, like, back then. I think.
I don't know how this is a 3.
This is a 2.
It depends on really what house. Like if you have Geistort in Mars, like this is good. It needs some protection for some of those dudes. If you have like Brobnar and Fish, it's probably less good. Like
Sandhopper also exists in this set, so you can play a cope out of turn and immediately give it armor,
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. Depending
I
on what
forgot about-
creatures you
yeah,
have in your deck.
I guess there are good fish targets to protect. It's really just Brobnar that would not care about her.
All right.
It's
Well,
2. It's
she can
fine.
continue to give out her iron handies because we're gonna go on to the next.
Sign me up for an Iron Handy, man. Yeah, let's go.
I don't hate
Let's
it.
do it.
Get the shirts off.
Both neighbors too.
Yeah. And herself.
Well, she got skills.
Hmm?
Ledger Main.
All right,
and
Ledger.
Ledger
Main?
Main. Pip of Ember every time you play it. It is an action. Enhance, draw, discard. Play, return a damaged creature to its owner's hand. If you do, its controller gains one.
I would put this at 2, but it has a extremely high upside as a common card if you have a damage pipped Sandworm or a damage pipped Ledger Domain.
I just keep using it to reheal my 6-power steel one guys.
Nice.
I use
Um,
it. I
Those
use
are
it.
also common.
I use
This
it
has
to
been
heal
good.
my handies, so she can continue to give out handies.
Yeah, that's right. This card has been.
She's got armor sometimes.
It's 2 amber pips and it comes with enhances.
Yeah.
Like this card has been fine. It's been in the 3-4 range because the enhances are good and you can generally get the 2 amber out of it. And every once in a while, it's important disruption.
Oh, I forgot the enhancements. Yeah, that moves it up to like a 4.
Yeah, it's 4, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have said 4.
I love this card. It's 5. I have it at a 5. Like everything this card does is how I play. So
All right.
it
I
is
can
very
see you putting it
abusable.
at a 5.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
and I'm not angry at it. So, all right. Market fluctuation. Pip of Ember. Every time you play it, each haunted player draws 3 cards. Each player that is not haunted discards 3 cards or 3 random cards from their hand.
I wanted this card to be amazing, and I swear every time I had an opportunity to play it, I was discarding and you were drawing, and I was like, this is the discard right now.
1.
Fantastic. But when it does fire, it's really strong.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
When you're haunted and they're not.
Yep.
Anytime you make an opponent discard 3, that is really strong.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a 3, maybe a 4. Like again, playing non-Grim Reminders, but Grim Reminders against Grim Reminders, this is a 1 for me.
Yeah. And Grim Reminders versus Grim Reminders, I failed for this to ever. The best I got out of it was we both drew 3.
Mm-hmm.
So
And they
it's
went
tough,
into their
'cause
turn
it-
with
Well,
9
they get an
cards,
Ember.
and you just had 6. Sad.
2.
and like I said, that's the best I got out of it.
See, I think out of set, it's
But
way
there's
more
that
powerful
dream.
than it is. than it is against Grim Reminders in set.
Maybe.
Maybe a
Because
1.
it's
Like, how often are you
so-
actually doing it? Yeah.
Timing.
Not very often.
I'm going to say, yeah, you're discarding this sometimes.
Because you need to draw it early and be able to get to Haunted before your opponent.
Actually, when you draw it early, it also isn't necessarily as bad because you play your other house cards and then you
Right.
discard the rest of your hand while they're discarding random.
Well, if you get this early,
you
it's just
sorta
an
have control.
it's just an Ember Pip, and that's fine.
And a hand flush, which is fine.
Right.
What?
So it I don't know. Like there are just times though where it's just a crappy chain.
Z rated this a 7.
So how does that rate, Z?
I have it at a 4.
Oh, wow.
If you get this in the beginning of the game, like for turn 1, 2, or 3, in which case, like even if you're both not haunted, you're getting efficiency. They're getting effed.
Right.
Like if I play this against like any slow deck early,
yeah.
I'm probably just gonna win. It's near
See,
like
the
a
issue here
turn
is
skip.
I
Like,
don't
that's half
draw
their
better.
cards.
This doesn't work out for me.
Like,
Yeah.
I do have it at a 4, and I do understand like late game I am sometimes discarding this, but like to me, this is
I mean, you have
literally
the
one of
discard
the
pips
best
and
cards
reminders
ever
anyways.
printed to go first if you're not on the play.
You're saying so this is like a hard mulligan card.
Yeah, like I would mulligan for this harder than I mulligan for Eureka.
You sold me on it.
Like imagine if this
Mm.
happens to you. You went first, like truly first. You played your one card, and then they play this card after playing 2 other Ekwidon cards. They're gonna draw 6. You're gonna go into your first real turn of the game with 3 cards. Like unless their deck sucks,
Yeah.
you probably just lost the game.
Fair. Mid-year festival.
Or it's random and you discarded the 3 cards they don't care about and they just got efficiency too. That's the problem with random.
I mean that like
Yeah.
people said that about Punk as well. Like right, like that's also a thing. But like the chance to just shoot them in the head real early, I think is significant enough for me to rate it the 4 that I have it at.
I would move it up to a
shooting them.
3. Still, just because of the GR implications, it just doesn't work out nicely for my play.
This is a
testing.
in a word that I don't or a thought that I don't have. Like this is a card I want to play some more games with to see. Because like I've been flipping decks so fast in Grim Reminders that like this card is always there, and I'm always looking at it going, "Go away, card."
Yeah,
And then
I really like it. Like
and I feel better about it.
This is also a because there's a couple ways in set at common to target any card in your discard and archive it. Like this is a card I would look for to do that.
Yep. That is,
So like
yes,
this
if you
is a
can
high
archive this,
value
it's
card,
better.
and there are 2 commons that are very very good that can do that easily.
Okay.
Right. Mid-year
Next card.
festival is reprint. Out negotiate is reprint. Pen Pal. Not a reprint.
Mid-year festivities is not a reprint.
No,
I thought it
is
was a
not.
reprint. Oh, okay.
No,
Nope.
All right.
Back we go.
Well, no, I just WoW for me. WoW and GR are melding so much together. It's tough for me. But Pip, remember every time you play it,
I'm with you.
action. Play. Choose 9 creatures. Move all Ember on the chosen creatures to their controllers' pools. Destroy the chosen creatures.
Like this
That's cool.
Ekwidon needs some friggin' Saurian with it.
This card would have been better
There's-
in WoW.
I'd
I mean,
give
there's
it a
good capture in Geistoid.
and an unfathomable.
fish. There's
Yeah.
is it? I think it's like a common fish. It might be uncommon that captures all of their ember.
Trawler. Yep, 4 power common.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep. It's the
So
combo
if you
card.
have Sandhopper with mid-year festivities, insane. But because it's very combo-y, I'd give it like a 3. It just it has that high end.
I mean, even if nobody's
this-
capturing anything, you destroy 9 creatures.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
we're
I think
focusing
it's
just
more
on the
based on
Amber
that.
port. The Destroy 9 is pretty big.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
this
a board
is
wipe.
A
by
5
definition.
at least.
This can be a sort of one-sided board wipe. This thing is
Yeah.
pretty damn strong against Woe, right?
Yeah,
Where
they
are
have 9 dudes
looking
out.
at 7 or 8 board all the time.
But it depends how much your opponent's capturing.
This is
to that.
like
True.
a 5 again. This is super strong.
Yeah. I mean, like any board wipe, not occasionally, but sometimes you discard it, but it is so strong, right?
My issue is the capture is very prevalent in Woe, Grim Reminders, and so I feel like more often than not, you're giving your opponent good value.
I'm gonna run my belligerent guard into whatever they got,
Wow.
and then I'm gonna play my mid-year festivities.
Yay!
That could happen.
I don't know. I want to say it's a 4, but it's probably a 5. Might be a 6. I just said half the range. Z, what is it?
These are some numbers.
These are numbers that
Here
I
are
just
3
spit
of
out.
the 7 possibilities.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a 7.
I said like, I don't know, 46%.
There
of
is
the
a
possible.
card I almost rated a 7. Couldn't break the system. I have this at a solid chase card. It is a 6. It is going to play like a
Is
3
it a
or 4
rare?
in some
It is
decks.
a
I
rare.
am well aware that it will be a 3 and 4 in a lot of decks, but there are going to be a bunch of decks printed where this is a game-winning card most games.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of capture in 3 other houses in set, and this is like you're literally just taking all of that amber while simultaneously board wiping your opponent. There's nothing else in the game that does this card. This is alone in what it does.
You're not taking the
It's
Ember.
6 Emperor for the board. Like
Yeah.
You don't take the
Oh.
Ember. You give it back to its creature's controller.
No, if you've captured
Oh, it's
their
good
Amber,
controller's
you
full.
get it.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
That's what
if they
he's-
captured
if you
your
do
Ember, they get it.
whole line, like there is
Listen,
a
it's 10:30.
Star
I'm
Alliance
tired.
card that literally
wait.
captures 1 Amber on every non-Star Alliance creature.
Yep. All right, Pen
Yep,
Pal.
all right, well, let's keep reading.
Pen Pal,
Sucks.
5 power human action, exhaust an enemy creature. If you do, each player gains 1 Ember.
I mean, it's a 5 power creature.
That is all it is.
This is a 2, a 1,
It's a 1.
a 1. It's bad.
I'm looking for it.
No, it's a
I
5 power
hope-
creature. That's at least a 2.
Yeah, it's a 2.
Not anymore.
Well, we don't like crappy creatures around here, but we like
Yeah.
permanent record. So let's
Permanent
do that.
record, real
That's a good
good.
exhaustibility.
I like permanent record action. Exhaust a friendly creature. If you do, steal 2.
Yeah, common. This is real nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is one that gets returned or archived off of those cards that let you do that. Like steal 2 while exhausting off house, generally.
Now
Real
imagine
strong.
this with a Historianly Darkened too. Get to play it twice.
I already said that. You can't steal my combos.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah.
Oh, you can? Okay.
Okay, so this is a 5?
I'm stealing your Ember too.
5. 4.
5.
Every once in a
At least-
while, you
oh,
don't
no,
have a
easily
creature, so 4.
5. It's
Actually,
steal. It's
Sadly, too
steal.
often you don't have a action or a ready creature.
I have it literally exactly with what I have. This is, to me, in play, is the same as Generous Offer exactly. Because, like, in this case, sometimes you don't have a ready creature. In Generous Offer's case, sometimes you don't have a creature you want to kill. Like, they're the same. I have them both out of 4. They do the exact same thing.
Yep. Good cards.
Phobivore.
Yes, very good cards.
It is an upgrade.
Mhm.
Pip of Ember. Every time you play it, this creature gains. While you are haunted, this creature cannot be used.
Mhm.
That's a 1, maybe a
It's a
2.
it's a 2. It has an Ember Pip.
Yeah, that's what I gave it credit for.
Well, Ember Pip's a 1.
Eh,
I've already been over this.
Yeah.
And it's
It's-
got an effect that is not meaningful enough.
Well,
maybe it's a 1.
It'll make a
basically
difference.
2 different upgrades together from a different
Only
house,
while you're haunted.
That's
Right.
which is most
That's-
of the time.
like in Grim Reminders, it's easy to get there and stay there.
You guys, again, you can have the decks with this card because
I have it at a 2. I still don't want cards that are a 2.
Fair
Uh,
enough. Pull up stakes. Is that a reprint? No,
Reprint.
it is a
reprint.
reprint. I thought it was.
Put
a
in a
reprint.
spin.
Put in a spin. Action. Lose 1 ember. If you do, choose a house and discard the top card of your opponent's deck. If that card belongs to the named house, gain 4 ember.
This was
This is
just
a 4.
Conversation. This is not a
The
Flaw.
opportunity cost of
No.
this card is positive.
That's true. I
Like,
agree with
statistically,
you.
All right,
you
that's
will
fine.
gain
Listen,
more
Listen,
ember
continue
than
the
you will
math.
lose playing this card.
And how much total amber is that?
So
3?
you're going to lose. Okay, opportunity cost, right? So the odds that you lose, in theory, right? We're just going to say it's 1. So 1/3 that you get it, 1/3 that
Okay.
you get it, right? Multiplied by the 4 ember that you win if you get it,
1.3.
right? So
So
that's
minus
how much
1.
ember you're expected to gain by playing it,
Minus 1.
right? So you have 2/3 of the chance, but you're losing 1 ember. So you'd be expected to lose 0.6 ember.
Why am I in the middle of a Scott Steiner promo?
What?
Nobody understands
going
that.
silently.
Keep going silently. Somebody is in their
okay,
car laughing right now, and it's okay.
You're just expected. So I have 33 and 2/3% chance.
So
No, anyway.
the opportunity on this cost
This
base.
card,
And stupid
It's
person
positive
math.
value.
You play this card in stupid person math. If you play this card 3 times, once it fires, you gained 3. The other 2 times you lost
3.
1.
In
So now you
stupid
gained,
person math, you gain twice as much ember as you lose with it.
no.
you gained 1
Yes.
amber over 3 plays, and you discarded 3 cards. If this card just said lose 1 amber and they discard the top of their deck, it would suck.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry.
This is a crappy
You
gambling
get
version of that.
0.33 amber.
I did the
per
math
play of
wrong
this card.
a
Yes,
little
you
bit,
did.
but
This is net
it's-
0.3.
there's so much stacking the deck in Grim Reminders. You know,
It doesn't matter.
Not
It's still net 0.3 or 0.4 or 0.5 for a play
This
of a card. It is bad.
It's a pointless rare that every once in a while is going to hit some amber, and I don't think it matters enough to really
Listen.
be excited. But it's a 2.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Occasionally of the near
A
future
1.
lens.
Z's going to have it as
and,
a 0.
if anyone opens a double put in a spin, I will be purchasing that.
Okay, it's
Z, we're-
probably like a 0.
I have it at a 1.
1. Okay. But for all of us gamblers out there, we all know this is a 7 in our hearts. Because anytime I get the
Yeah.
opportunity
Yeah.
to
This is
spin
a
the
7.
wheel,
I think sheep will probably play this every time.
Every
I will
time.
discard it every time.
I mean, if it's nothing
So-
big, I'm
Well,
playing it
look
every
at
time.
my amber count, and if I'm at 1 or 2 amber, and that's where I was going to end the turn anyways, you're damn straight I'm playing it. If I'm
What?
at 6 amber and I'm playing this card, it goes in the discard.
Listen, man, it is another
I-
spin of the wheel.
0.3 expected.
Spin the wheel.
Yes, it is. It's
Spin
E
the
on
wheel.
DOK should be 0.3. Like that's what
Yep.
we're looking at.
Spin the wheel.
Well, again, Grim Reminders is a lot of
Spin the
manipulation.
Ravening Morphozoid.
Ravening Morphozoid. I don't know what it is, but it's a 4-power
It's a bug.
shapeshifter. While you're haunted, it gains poison and skirmish. After fight, after reap, draw a card, discard a card.
Good.
I think
But-
Oh my
The fight
god,
reap
you
effect is
like
good,
Xenos
but-
though. Oh,
That
What?
poison and skirmish doesn't matter. It's the draw
No,
card.
it's the reap
discard.
effect.
well,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I mean like
It
after
matters
fight,
a little bit because of
draw
after
discard
fight.
is pretty
a little
good.
bit.
I have a
But
couple
I'm
of decks with
not
this
in
card
love
in
with
it.
this
I have
card.
triggered it once. And I have played those
Mm-hmm.
decks in sealed events against Sheep, against Ewok, against Sydney,
Yeah,
against Mr.
this-
Perfect. It has fired a total of 1 time.
I would give it a 3
Yeah, 3.
I think that's
on the
generous.
Zeo rank.
You
It's a
can
3.
Or-
sometimes use the poison.
Yeah,
You
it's a
more
3.
often
It
want to
hits
draw
all
a
of the
discard.
requirements to be a
Yeah.
3. It's got a body. You generally expect it to reap. It has an effect that might fire once.
Rumor Sower. 4-power creature. After reap, your opponent discards the top card of their deck. Stun an enemy creature that shares a house with the discarded card.
Same
Too
sort of
situational.
criteria, but I would put it at a 3-.
Which
have
means
this-
2.
I do have this one at a 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Its effect is not terribly significant.
Sandhopper
Sand, good.
hopping
Sandworm,
over to Sandworm.
good.
6.
Two Ember pips.
Sandworm.
Oh my! Did you just say 6?
Yeah.
Oh God!
It does have 2 Ember.
We're talking about we're talking about that with Sandhopper and Legerdemain. You have ways to
Like,
bounce.
Yeah, we could talk one day when we decide to do that. Right now, there's a whole nother site that does that.
Sandworm. 16 power beast. After fight, shuffle Sandworm in your deck. You get 2 pips of Ember every time you play the Sandworm. So
2
he's-
pips good.
So he's at
Sometimes
least a
you're
2.
playing it twice
He
through the
can
deck.
kill. Well, hold on. He can
which
kill
is way
Bryozark,
better.
right? Which is a 3.
Yep.
At least a
There you
3,
go.
because you can kill Bryozark.
Oh,
You can
yep,
kill,
yep.
You can kill 3 of them.
Yeah, well, I mean,
No, you can't. After a fight, he shuffles.
Shuffles
Yeah,
back.
you get to
You-
play it
you
again.
you get to play him again and get another
And
2
that's-
Ember.
It's too slow, Z. Too slow.
It does have some power.
Is this a 4?
Might be a
No,
4.
this is
Yes.
like at Sandhopper makes this a 6.
Oh my God!
What?
It's-
You're drunk.
What?
Yeah, I'm drinking.
You guys hate Ember.
Ember.
What's Ember?
A 6 means you're chasing the card to win games due to some win con. This is not a 6. I have it at a 4. I could entertain an argument for a 5 one day, but I need to see it happen.
Nope.
I
4
have
is,
no decks with
4
this card.
is A-okay because that's really exactly where it belongs. Scrap Scrounger is a reprint. Security Detail. Pip of Ember. Every time you play it, play a friendly creature and each of its neighbors capture one.
So this
Better
is
than
just
the
an
Sanctum card.
improved-
Yeah.
Or isn't there a Starlines card that does almost the same thing too?
Combos
Probably.
with mid-year.
Yeah. So this card is good, right? Like it's that
3.
puts it in the 3 range.
4.
It's good, but not amazing.
I just have
Yep.
it at a 2 because of where I generally evaluate captured amber at.
It takes
You're
off
wrong.
check.
I've played a
at a
lot
8.
of this set. I think because of in-house synergies and Geistoid, which 42% of the decks will have Geistoid. Like, I think this has to be a 3-in set. There's just too much that can be done with the amber due to those 2 houses.
Yeah, mid-year festivities.
Yep.
All right. Shopping Spree is a reprint.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still
Okay.
sucks. Although I
Um,
guess with Scrap, it's a little better. In
Nope, still sucks. Yeah, this card. Siphonaptarian. Siphonaptarian?
That was well done.
I thought I
Claude.
got there eventually. 6
Siphonaptarian.
power.
Look at that triple. This is 6 amber pips when I hit it with that logos card.
Well, while you're
Damage
haunted,
per-
it has taunt. If it's destroyed and it's not your turn, gain 2 Ember.
This is. I really like this card personally. It's half the value of Brend without the downside of giving your opponent the Ember, anti-board wipe.
half value of Brend?
Yeah,
Friend steals.
right. But you Brend is also anti-board wipe in the same
This
sense.
card
that
is like a 2 and maybe a 3 if
maybe a
I'm
3.
starting to
Generous.
agree with Sheep that you're drunk, Southerly.
he just
Okay,
likes big
what's bad
bodies.
about discouraging your opponent from
Oh.
wiping your board?
I mean, listen,
or
I like
the-
big butts
like
just
it'd
like
cost
the
them-
next
They'd lose
person.
them Ember if they did.
Yeah,
I don't think it's enough of a discouragement to not wipe their board often.
But
I'm just gonna go faster.
it's
The
a
6
common.
Gotta go
Is
faster.
good.
Like you're gonna be able to
Actually-
put 2 of these down.
I haven't actually gotten one of these yet, so I don't know.
I played against
I-
this. It was very frustrating, actually.
I could go
Like I would
3.
put this at a 4 or 5.
No.
So, well, Z said it was frustrating, and it can kill a Brend. So it's at a 4.
You mean Brian?
Go Brio.
A Brian,
It is
sorry,
at a
Brend.
4. I do have it at a 4. I've always enjoyed
I'm-
Taunt. This is a very good iteration of Taunters. Most Taunters in this game aren't anywhere close to this good, and most
Apples
Taunters in the
Cadet's
game
another similar one.
are at a 3. He is better than most all of them, so I put him at a 4.
Yep. I
Like,
feel like
Brabble's a
towards the
great
end
card
of everything, I start
because
getting
of the Destroy defect, and this is very similar to Brabble, and it's got Taunt on it.
Right.
Screel Swarm, whatever a Screel is. Pip of Ember, every
It's
time
those
you play an
bugs.
action, deal 1 damage to each enemy creature. This is throwing stars. That has a scrap ability. You may archive Screel Swarm from your discard pile. So I can discard it to put
I
it
guess
in
you can
my...
archive it till when
Is this
you
a
need
2?
it. Yeah.
It is a 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like a
Yeah.
2.
Okay.
I would kind of put it as a 1.
Okay. So
I
if you're
just- I
going
just wouldn't
this
wanna
one,
see it
you're
in the
out.
deck.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to see it.
I can accept that. You don't really want to see this.
Yeah.
Soul
Like,
Exchange.
Does this like come with multiple copies of itself? And
No.
if it had discard, if it gave itself discard pips, where you could like discard tons of these to build
Oh,
up
I
to
do think
play
it should
6
have that
amber
enhanced.
with.
That would have been good design.
But this card as is, yeah, it's pooey.
And a left and a right.
I have it at 2.
It feels like a 1.
Let's exchange our souls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Soul Exchange feels like a 1 to me. I don't know. 1 damage. All those little 1 creatures running around out there.
But
Soul
it's still to enemy only. Like, that pops all the wards and stuff.
so many words floating around right now.
Can we exchange souls now?
Soul
soulmate.
Exchange. Choose a player. Return the topmost creature from that player's discard pile to their hand. Destroy a creature controlled by that player.
Luckily, I was the one that reordered my discard pile when my opponent board wiped me last turn.
while they weren't looking, right?
Wow. Like
No,
this
right in front of them. They didn't care.
Is this a
I
2?
put Sandworm right on top.
I think this is a 2.
I mean, you
It's
could
like a
try-
situational. Like, you can get your
kill
own creature back or
something.
destroy an opponent's. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it played the creature, it would be better. But it
Yeah,
don't.
just put them
For
in
sure.
hand. So you kind of have to be in house. So it really only is good with in-house Ekwidon.
Or you put their really crappy creature in play and kill their good creature, or
Yes.
put their crappy creature in
It
the hand.
it can chain them.
I think I see this more offensively than in that regard than playing it to get my own crappy creature back, unless I
I mean, we just went through most of the
Have
creatures.
really
You're really only getting your Sandworm back. Like, that's it.
The creatures in this house suck. Well, we haven't hit Talent Scouts reprinted, so you could always be getting him back.
Oh, hey guys,
Well, I heard
learned.
Sifo Bentarian was a 6 or something, right? Something
Yeah. Like, Phil,
Yeah.
give me a pod filled with, you have Sandworm, you have Siphon Neptarian, you have Sandhopper.
he can have all
and
the
the
Gregs
historian.
too. Don't
Elf
forget.
does
you.
Generous
have a point.
offer.
Like, constantly
I'll be happy.
recycling your Sifo stuff with Soul Exchange wouldn't be bad. Either way, it's a 2.
And then
It's
you're
just a
gonna
2.
Tachyon Manifold for game.
Hey, here we go.
Real
Oh,
dumb.
yeah.
Tachyon Manifold.
And
Take
you thought
another
lateral shift was good.
Take another turn after this one. Your opponent draws 10 cards. Purge Tachyon Manifold.
How, like, if this card maybe has said take another turn after this one, on your next turn your keys cost plus 10, this card wouldn't be absolutely bonkers.
So in
But
my
this card
system,
is just like, once I'm at second key in Amber, it's over.
I don't
Yep.
know what DOK is going to do. We are in the process of doing that, but like I doubt she's going to code this as a key cheat. But in my system, it does, and because of Tachyon Manifold,
And our system is...
all 7 houses have a key cheat. This is the key cheat for Ekwidon, and the best in the game.
Interesting, I actually did have to use Tachyon Manifold to catch up in a game. I was down a key when I played my Tachyon Manifold, and it did actually let me come back. It was weird. It was a weird game.
I was like, again, there's like cross house synergy stuff that DOK does, and I've been helping them with that. Like catch and release is in set. So like, just think about that. Like that's
Yep.
stupid.
Take another turn,
It's
go
so
unfathomable.
stupid. Like, okay, you draw 10 cards. Great. I'll take my turn. Fish.
But we are talking
Catch and
about a
release.
rare and uncommon combo out of
Yeah.
house. So
Yeah. I know.
there will be a few. There'll be a few.
It's gonna happen.
Hey.
You'll have to
Yeah,
be lucky to get a
this-
good deck with it, though.
It's gonna probably end up at tables somewhere that you'll see.
This is another card that makes me say, who playtested this set?
Oh, I love this
Because it
card.
wasn't.
I
It
can-
was not me.
like,
I-
oh, anyone want to guess
Yeah.
the rating on this card?
7.
Was
Oh.
that your almost a 7?
That has to be
Yes.
the almost a 7. I mean, yeah, it's dumb.
Has to be, 6
6
plus. Yeah.
plus.
Yes, I have it at 6. I have no idea whether it can be printed more than one in one deck, but if it
Oh.
is printed, if
Oh,
more than
could
one
you
is printed
imagine?
in the same deck, it does scale up.
Well, there are a few cards that let you
Yeah,
get purge
yeah.
back too, so you could maybe
Oh
purge it
yeah,
and
you can get
replay
that
it.
that Untamed card.
Oh.
Okay, back to the reprints.
Forgotten Guardian.
Oh, I don't wanna. Anyways,
there we
Talon
go.
Scouts
Reprints.
reprinted. Techno-Arachnophobia. Discard the top 10 cards of your deck. If you discard 5 or more cards of the same house, this way you get to steal 2. I read this card
Okay,
as discard the
so-
top
We did
10.
this today.
The
51%.
math has been attempted to be solved. Yep.
Okay.
So 50-50.
Well, not
50-50,
50-50.
this works.
At a random state, right? You're
Yeah.
36 cards, third chance each. It came out to over 50%. It was about 53, I believe.
Yes, and you can control it a
But-
little bit or
right.
help it along its way.
Because you have so much information from the discard pile in your hand, it's going to be, I would imagine, generally 60% or greater of hitting.
Sure.
I think the more
I
important
don't-
portion of this card is discard the top 10 cards of your deck. You are automatically
Yes,
haunted.
you're haunted. Yep. Yeah, which is why I keep
Yeah.
saying most of the and there are cards like this in almost every house.
Yeah.
Grim
that-
Reminders decks play most of the game haunted.
At
Is
first,
does that make this a
4.
3 or a 4?
It's a 4.
Oh,
I would say a 4, because you can get yourself haunted and you can potentially steal 2.
Because I think the biggest thing is, like, if you get to steal 2, that's a bonus. But, like, the more
I
important
still see
thing is
myself
I'm
discarding
haunted.
this sometimes, and I
Some-
hate cards that
Sometimes.
there are just often enough that I'm going to discard.
I mean, towards the end of your
I
deck, okay,
have
fine.
it at what are y'all? There's other
I said
people.
I'm
I
a
said-
3.
I'm torn between a 3 or a 4.
I
Said
think it's
4.
I think it's 4. It's a 2.
I have it at
I'll go 3. 3, I think.
3 is also, I think, a fair assessment. I like it a little more just because it automatically gets me haunted and I don't have to work so hard.
Mhm.
Ember Road
All right.
is
There.
Well, I think that
What?
it depends on when it comes out. Early,
true.
Well, of course. That's why it's a 3. Because
Yes.
timing is so important to the card.
correct.
And when you're desperate. And you're just
You play the
scrounging.
Amber Road.
You're just
And the old Tinkerer.
Or-
and Trade Secrets.
Yeah.
You can
and
just put in a spin
Philosopher.
and gamble for the steal.
The Philosopher's a reprint?
Yep.
Why do I not
Yeah, our
remember
next
him?
card is
Oh,
the-
because he's a
the
rare. That's
Tutor.
why. Tutor
I
Bin
will say
Rilo.
it-
I'm going with
Okay.
-2.
Yeah, -1.
Here's your $1 for the swear jar. Fuck this card.
This card is. And
So
They were
Lady
loving
comes in
on
multiples.
Help from Future Alliance podcast.
yeah, they can go help
Is
from
that
shove
a
this card up
thing?
their ass. This card is horrible.
Yeah, they were like, this is so good.
this
They
card
didn't
is
change their name. You're just
straight-
joking, right?
Yeah, no, that's not.
Oh,
their
yeah,
name.
I'm
Okay.
joking. Help from
Okay.
Future Alliance. Yeah,
Okay.
that's their
Our-
podcast. Yeah.
our local says this card is good and spontaneity is the best card in set.
Well,
See, I've been
man,
ragging on
that's
the
hitting
Wolf
on
for a while
That's
spontaneity.
now.
certain-
there.
like this card frustrates me a lot. Like I
You
can't
have no
technically
idea.
give it a 0 based
Why?
on the way I do. the
Why
0
can you not give it a
cards.
0? This
It's-
card
Whatever
is
you want. You're
trash.
Big Z.
It is unplayable. I can't even play the card on the field because all it does
But
is
you
okay.
have to play him
Why do I have to play him?
because the scrap is worse than the play.
I know,
That-
and
that
that's
is
the.
the
I mean, is the scrap worse than the play? At least I'm getting a
Therefore,
card.
you get a 4 power creature means he's probably going to reap and he's a 1.
And if he doesn't reap, then I just gave my opponent a free card.
Yeah, well, but that's
You-
what you just said does not work in a scoring system.
I know,
We have to
and I
assume the
hate,
4-power reap. We have to assume every other 4-power reap.
I hate him. Every deck
I
I
can
pull
You
that
just put
has
a number in a spreadsheet.
every
There's
deck,
no other card that I actually hate more than this card in the
Every
set.
Yeah, he is so frustrating because even discarding him feels bad.
Sucks. Oh, discarding him is really bad.
and he doesn't
This
show.
is shredder material.
He never shows up in just
On a
one.
positive note,
He never shows up
I think
just
that's
one.
where the issue.
He's always like
every
3.
deck that has 2 or 3 of these, just throw them in the trash.
I already
those would not
have.
even be fun playing in shredder.
Why do you think I have so many 67 draw better scores? They all have tutor bid Ryla. Like they're all just, and like here's the deal. Here's the thing that frustrates me. We get cards like Tachyon Manifold, and then you get like just the complete opposite ass spectrum of
No,
tutor bin Ryla.
That's because Z was too busy fondling himself looking at Tachyon Manifold, and he missed
Wow.
all this other garbage.
Well, no,
'Cause
remember,
he was just
it's
like that card.
always about trading. Like if Tachyon Manifold exists, there have to be a bunch of other bad cards.
But this
No,
is
And
this
they're
is
at common.
so
Yeah,
bad.
Bad
Yeah.
combo.
Rare
for
versus
a good
common
rare. I hate you for this.
You know what? Put tutor
This is
bin
your
Rylo
fault.
at rare and put Tachyon Manifold at commons. Problem solved.
Ah, there you go.
I mean,
And then
Necto
just
Charge is
ban
at
it.
common. Why not?
Is there a reason the card could not just stop after that first period? Discard
there-
up to 3 cards.
Is there a reason this card
Uh,
exists?
I don't know.
Because
I hate
it's
this card a
Ekwidon,
lot.
and there has to be a balance to everything.
What is the balance
yeah.
here?
It's the theme of the house.
There is no balance here. He is garbage. Just
Yeah, you
punt.
get
Well,
a kick
no.
in the junk.
Just
He's
punt.
making up for Talent Scouts, Manifold,
Let's do the last card.
Sandhopper, all in one card.
Uncommon
yeah, I mean
currents.
we have had a half-hour cast, so we should do the last card.
Yeah. Uncommon currency is a reprint. Zavel, Archaeologist. Each time you play an artifact from your discard pile, gain 1. Play / after reap. You may play an artifact from your discard pile. And
This
he's
is kinda cool.
Indiana
I-
Jones.
It's fun.
Thought he was
Yeah.
going to be much better than he is. At one point in time, I thought there was going to be a guaranteed number of artifacts in the house that he is in, but I confirmed today, using the UK with the 20,000 decks that are there, that there are several decks that he exists in that only have 2 artifacts in the whole deck and are not in his house. So,
But,
like
considering the dredge aspect of Grim Reminders, though, I do think that it's useful for decks where artifacts are
It's
important.
good with your
Yeah.
scrap. Destroy one of your artifacts. Destroy one of their artifacts, guy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
It's pretty good
originally
with
I
that.
thought this card was going to be like 4 or 5
There-
level, but I confirmed today.
There.
he-
Do you notice
not.
how there's not a single sack artifact?
There's not.
I would put it at a 4, personally.
I guess you could just sit here and try to redo Incarnation Pod a bunch.
I
don't
said
know.
like I wanted this card to be
No.
actually really, really good. I had
It's
wanted it to
not.
be a 5. I now have it at a 3 because of that. But just the card association is not what I was hoping it would be.
I
So-
get that, but like the whole, it just plays so well into the dredge of this, like
if
the
you
whole
have
theme of the
artifacts,
set.
if there's only 2 artifacts in your deck, like this means it's not gonna.
Even if you have 2 artifacts in your deck, you play a creature, play one of those artifacts back, which you may have discarded, gain an ember. Like it's situational.
But like what Sheep just made it like pointed out, like most of the artifacts in the set aren't sacrifice.
Right, but we're talking about like again, you're discarding half of your
Yeah.
deck in a lot of
Yeah.
games.
I don't know. Like
So I do
it's
like
not
the aspect
terrible.
of using your discard as the resource, and this plays into that and gives you a benefit for playing an artifact out of your discard pile. If your opponent destroys your artifact you want, you can also use this. I kind of like it. I like sometimes it's going to be but I could give it a 4.
Nah, it's a 3.
It's a 3.
I think it's a 3.
If not a 2.
Yeah, I
It's
did the searches today. I kept seeing too many decks with one. Like, was there a one? I know there was a two. I think there might have been ones. If there were ones, that would have really pissed me.
So the overall on this house, I am not actually that high on it. Like like I have a deck that's got a Tachyon Manifold, but the best card in the house for me that game was Trade Secrets because it actually made the rest of the bad cards that come in this house useful. Because we skipped a lot of reprint creatures and stuff, and they are bad. Like they're just bad.
It's none of the good ones, that's for sure.
So in a competitive setting, I see like two different sorts of houses emerging from this. Like the one I would imagine is going to be like estate sale, generous offer, permanent record, stuff like that, where it's more action based, gain
Bunch
ember,
of
steel.
steel. Yeah.
And then the other is going to be obviously like sandhopper, sandworm, bouncing creatures, stuff like that. And then obviously, cards like Tachyon Manifold are
it's
going to
gonna
be
it's
staple
gonna
in
be
any of those houses.
Geistoid. I think it's be Geistoid. Flip your deck, basically flip your deck over, take the cards you want out and put them in your archives, and then recur stuff with Untamed and archive stuff with Mars, and just like key cheat and win. Like that's going to be a big
Yeah.
thing, right?
The only competitive lines I see in the set for like top end, top table are Tachyon, Manifold, and like not in the same deck, and like really abusive mid-year festivities decks. Like they're both
No triple sandhopper.
There's just not much to do. Like the other set, I guess no, because talent sale's not your side. It's what
Right.
Like you can sandhopper your tutor,
Your sandworm,
like
your trawler.
sandworm, and the guard are really it for in-house, unless you just get lucky with pips, right? Like it's just not quite what it was. Sandhopper was.
When you get a discard pip placement on a creature, though, that allows you to just like constantly
True.
call Ekwidon after Ekwidon.
Yeah, I mean, I
stay
guess
in one
that
house.
would be the fine. Like if you get 2+ sandhoppers with a sandworm with basically any pip on it, other than the two it already has, like you're in bullshit territory. So that's something. So yeah, double like more than one sandhopper plus sandworm is already a thing. And then Tachyon Manifold and mid-year. Those would be the three things I'd be on the eye like looking at.
Mhm.
And that's it. But like unfortunately what I'm saying is all kind of rare. Like Tachyon is a rare. Mid-year is a rare. Double Sandhopper equates to less than rare. Like that's what we're seeing.
Right.
For this house, yeah.
Like if they don't have one of those scenarios, I don't want this as a house in my deck because of how good the other houses in the set are. Like for me, Ekwidon has to have one of those scenarios for me to want it. Because of like you have a lot of very good options elsewhere.
And even if you get all of those, you're going to get 3 Tutor Ben Rylos.
Well, I wouldn't want all 3 of them. You will always get 3 tutors.
And with your 3 tutors, you're going to get 3 Hospitalities, and you are going to cry.
Hey, wait, you can discard them off house. Oh, wait.
Let's bring back reversal, and maybe we have something.
Yeah. 5 tutor Ben reversal deck.
I'm so upset every time I open up and I'm like, oh, Ekwidon, and you flip it over and you're like, oh, 2 Ben Rylos. Who knew? Weird.
It's more frustrating than Bad Pity because Bad Pity, you just discarded her. Like this is.
Yeah, there are enough good cards that this will get plenty of play and sealed kind of level play because it's got enough steel and enough creature control that's good that you will see. It will see play.
Agreed.
Yeah,
for sealed. Man, you can also just draw, and I've done it, and it is real bad. Like you can get such a bad draw on this house. Kind of like Star Alliance in WoW. Like it can be good, but most often it's a real disappointing thing.
I mean,
you should get some iron handies,
we do need to be a little fair to explain kind of what we're seeing here. Like this is actually a good house as far as like the design of it compared to other sets. If I were to compare this whole house to most other houses in the games in other sets, it's still better than them. The only reason I'm saying what I'm saying about the 3, like I'm only looking for these 3 things, that's because there are 4 other houses that are just way better than this one. So I'm not actually saying it is a bad house overall. It's just probably the 5th or 6th best house in the set of lots of good houses.
Yeah, and I recently got a real stinking pile, so I have no love for them right now.
I really don't.
Like,
So
it's-
it's lucky
yeah.
because the boxes that we're opening from are cursed with the tutor bin.
Because when you like really look at it, like generous offer and permanent record are on
Real good.
Pull out stakes is still there. Sandworm is uncommon. Sandhopper's uncommon. Like you're going to have a lot of great pods.
I
Like,
opened
there's
a nice
plenty.
sandhopper with a discard pipped sandworm.
See, so this is why you've got such a hard on for Sarv, because you opened one that's pretty good.
Well, hey,
You're
that's
so-
just
this
2
is
cards
the
in the
way.
pod, and it gets you so much value.
This is the way.
That's two uncommons, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of value.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify. And de-escalation, literally one of the best wipes we've seen is
Yeah,
uncommon
yeah.
here. Like, I just wanted to make sure that we clarify to our audience, like, this is a really, like, we've never actually had a set like this where we're talking about, like, it's a land of riches as far as good card to good card, because, like, it just hasn't ever happened. So, it's still a good house.
All right. That is going to do it for us tonight. That is all of Ekwidon. I hate Tutor Ben Rilo. Join us next week where we go over the ghosts of the Crucible, the Geistoids. Something tells
Hell
me.
yeah.
No, I will find something to hate in there.
I'll be here.
Oh, no,
there's
there's
some bad stuff.
there's
there,
bad
but, like,
stuff in there, no doubt.
There's
Like
bad stuff in every
all the
house,
clocks.
but
Yeah,
good.
but then there's the Mamet or whatever, and that's
So good.
I love them.
I mean,
Really?
like, Tachyon Manifold's the best card in the set, but, like, the next 2 best cards in the set are uncommon in Geistoid. So tune in to
Mhm.
see what they are.
that Mamet that I got this week that discards and basically archives whatever. I'm just archiving whatever I discard.
Yep.
Love it.
Let's
So,
play Destroy. Yeah.
so, all right, that's gonna do it for this week. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see y'all next week.
Be forging, everyone.
May the forge be with you.